Good evening, race fans, and welcome along to round number 5. It's the FRL Super Sprint to the Grand Finals. Kyalami last week, as we saw there in the intro, phenomenal racing over the two. That's right, 2 1-hour races we've got ahead of us this evening, firmly in the rear view mirror. Spa, Imola, Bathurst. Kyalami now joins the history books as the teams look to book one of the 5 automatic places in the VCO SimGrid Grand Final, a 3-round endurance event that takes place in November and December, and of course 6th, 7th and 8th get themselves a spot in the GT4 in the playoffs. The top 2 teams from that will earn themselves a place in the final. Long way to go though, still 6 races for the drivers here at FRL, and 2 of them will take place tonight at Silverstone. It's a 15-minute qualification session, then 2 1-hour races. The starting grid for race number 2 determined by the finishing order of race number 1, with the top 10 reversed. And during week 2 I asked if it was possible to see back-to-back winners. That very week we saw 3 teams score exactly the same results over both races for second and third, which was quite incredible. A feat we've not seen quite since Thomas Eng, with back-to-back first, putting them firmly atop the table at the moment with the Italian job in second place. It's VDES Racing who are in third, and Rocket Simsport in the McLaren 11th place, outside the top 10 for the first time in the first time in 8 races. For them sees them just under the 700 point mark, but still with a comfortable gap back to 2S Esports, PLR Esports and Panda Esports, still very much in the hunt for the playoff places. So too Team Ballas, and with as I say 6 races still in the cards, SR Esport and Tyre Sim Racing certainly not to be counted out of the championship quite yet either, you would say. Of course it is Silverstone 1948, like so many British tracks, built by the graces of old military fields and airfields. There we go. But it is Silverstone for this one. Of course, nice sunny conditions for the drivers, and just as I say that, it is evening. Oh yeah, it is an evening race, my apologies. So let me make sure we set the settings. Any who do we fancy to win this evening? I see oh no.
Green light, give it all. Good.
Okay, that one caught me out very quickly there. We've got Drofter who's in the chat. Good morning, commentators. Singular this evening. Pitwall Live is up as well. Excellent. Of course, during the race, the drivers will be coming in to take a pit stop to swap drivers. A 10-minute window during the 1-hour race is what is allotted for the drivers. There we go. To get those driver swaps done, of course, the finals themselves, an endurance series with driver swaps. Rob G. Barker in the chat. Good evening, Rob. How are we doing? How is your season looking? Oh, it was your last round. Congratulations on the championship by 5 seconds. There we go. Smiley's in the chat as well. Good evening, good evening. Here, of course, the What's the Racing, not just get gratuitous looks at the livery, so beautifully designed. ITJ getting themselves a great finish last time out. Some great battle, and Rafael Malo. The Simply Race one's still not working. Okay. Super Sunday all done was the main series. Yes, I did watch that. It was an incredible series. Right, can't confirm, we did get all the liveries on Yeah, right, okay, there's only 23 being added, yeah. Still some slight issues with Awesome Sim Racing, but all the ones that were loaded into the Sprint to the Final series have been uploaded. Even though it says that Malt Poly is updated. But anyway, the Railroad Track, it's it's the simple things that distract me so easily. Of course, 1948 this track was built, and it very much looked like something out of Wreckfest, if we're all being a bit honest. 3.6 miles long it was back then. It's been through a dozen changes in its life cycle. Of course, multiple variations of the track as well. Sits these days 3.6 miles, so yeah, it might have changed the layout massively over the years, but it is exactly the same length as it always has been. The lap times around here, ungodly. It's optimum track. The track is optimum, and it is 20 degrees, so expect to see some very, 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 very quick times. I won't even embarrass myself with this one. Even with a Luke Addison setup. Oh, was I? Yeah, I can't remember. I'm sure someone will remind me. I was racing here with yeah, in the Ferrari recently, so I've definitely got to go this corner here. Oh my goodness gracious me. An absolute fun one to make your way on to the straight, of course. The exit to Club. If you lose the back of the car there, you lose so much time on the way through Abbey and Farm Curve, of course. Always not where you want to put two wheels on the grass. What a save! Ollie Pitsick. Let's just watch that one again on a replay. It's not often you get a replay qualifying, but yeah. If it's worth it, it's worth it. That was all the extra steering out there. You can see just on the exit there, the back of the McLaren tried to step out on him. I know that feeling all too well. You really have to be precise on that accelerator. Puts the car over, full steering lock, bit of rev on the engine and full power down. Not much good for the tyres, but certainly keeps it between the mayo and mustard. An absolutely incredible save. Gornikov, the VDES junior car, staking a claim early doors. Rafael Malo looking for a better result than last week. Second place at the minute, Dominic Illinger. Fast forward racing, they're fast forwarding themselves again. The Audi doing well this season. We've got Luciano Whitfit driving for Simply Race Esports in this event. Of course, normally drives for Team Ballas. I'm not sure if he's made the full switch or not, but I'm sure the new team more than happy. 5th position at the minute. Ballender's got a lap in, but he's a bit off the pace, so too. Not quite as much off the pace, but Michael Supanchik in the Porsche, just been overtaken by Malt Poly. The lock-up racing car. Wow, that was everything but a lock-up there. Full sideways, 10th and a half separating at the top two. Ellinger still in 3rd. Rock Cops, the fun sim racing car, expecting a quick time there. Feltham, they'll be up there. There's James Williams there. In the FRL livery, really does need to be in the pink pig. I think it brings him better lap times, to be fair. I'm sure it's an extra 10 horsepower he gets in the Ferrari for having that on. Oh yeah, of course, and in the chat as well, Pitwall Live is up, and the incident sheet. There is a spreadsheet there you can keep up to date with all of the incidents on track and what the stewards' decisions are. And nearly said referees. Tyre Sim Racing, I mentioned them in the start, still very much in the hunt. 4th place in qualifying so far as we approach the halfway mark here at Silverstone, and Ruby back in. And as we're saying that, sorry, it is Hitchum Duby for the Italian job. Brings it up into the top 5. Michael Firth now finds himself down in 16th position. Dave Goodway, the FRL Arrive and Drive, the lead team in the standings for FRL at the minute, got himself 14th. 1 minute 58.4. I think between the races I'm going to actually have a quick check and see what my time at Silverstone is. I'm sure it's Yeah, it definitely starts with a 2. Starting with a 2 at the minute. Eric Delfant, 22nd for the Italian Job Setups team, the McLaren. And Yevgeny Nietman as well. Simply Race Esports, I'm expecting, there we go, a time in 17th at the minute, and he's pulled over. Still 7 minutes to go. Plenty of time still to get qualifying. We don't want to leave it too late. Ben Crook for PLR Esports has got himself up into 14th, just behind Max Leonard, the Panda Esports racing car. I'm expecting a bit more pay. I did say Rock Cops as well, a quick time coming in, and there it is, 12th place, a second off the pace with a 1:57.8. Sorry, I just, yeah, because I find it so difficult to get any place near those times, to be a second off pole position with a 1:57.8, it just, it does make me chuckle a bit every now and again. Oli Pitstick one time on pole position, now isn't, because of Gornikov. Oh, Malo's just, oh wow, not to be outdone. Delfant gets within a 10th and a quarter. Malo gets within 6 hundredths of Gornikov's 1:56.580. Very quick. Balawander was off the pace with his opening lap. Certainly not with his second out in, and there goes Konstantin Soldatov for VDES. I really do struggle with the initial teams for some reason. Blinderex says smiley for all the extra livery attention. There's Michael Firth there, 19th, exactly 2 seconds off the pace, 1:58.6. Still a very good time. Finds himself 19th position. Only one driver still to set a time, and it is Thomas Ladke of championship leading team Thomas Enge Sim Racing. So we'll see what they do in the closing 5 minutes. I'd imagine it will be otherworldly. Just casually rock up with 2 minutes to go, pop in a 1:55, drop the steering wheel, and walk out of the stadium. Oh, quali ban, last 5 minutes only. Ah, okay. And there we go then. Quali ban, so not allowed out until 5 minutes to go. Still, 5 minutes is a long time. Oh, well, is it? I mean, that's an out lap, 2 flying laps. Yeah, they'll still be in the mix. Delfant puts himself right back in the mix with almost 2 tenths over Gornikov, 2.5 over Malo. Soldatov, 4th position at the minute. Balawander, there's Pisoni popping up into the top 10. The Absolute Motorsport Asilith car. Up and down, of course, in the Kyalami races. Coming through one of my favourite complexes because I really can't get it right. So much respect for anybody that can't get this right on at the Wellington Straight. Yeah, the Wellington Straight. It's such a fun complex. But Pisoni smoothly making his way through, of course. Not many green deltas at the moment. Yeatman for Simply Race. 2 tenths at the minute. Oh no, he's just gone up to half a tenth. He's lost it through the braking zone. He was a bit wild on. Yeah, no, missed that apex completely there. So looks like he's going to go for another run. There is Matthias Ladke then out on track. 3 minutes 49 left to go to set a time. Luciano Whitbit looking to improve his position. He's got a 10th at the minute. So close. Balawander and Pisoni have set almost identical times. Nopek into the top 10 for Guerrilla Racing in the Lambo. That was slipped under my radar ever so slightly. Smiley says, this is one of my strongest tracks, fastest lap, put me 17th, I want to cry. Yeah, I'm now genuine. I've got the fear. I will check between the races and see what the records say. Like I say, I was racing here recently in the LFM Silverstone races, so. But I'm sure it was much like Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen did a 45.1. I kept threatening on the times to do a 44.5. It didn't quite manage to bring one home. 45.1 was the quickest it got there. So yeah, Silverstone, not sure. But we will find out, because of course there is 2 races this evening. The grid for race number 2 decided by the finishing order of race number 1, but the top 10 are reversed, and we have seen on multiple occasions back-to-back winners on the same night. Thomas Enge and the Italian job, the teams to do so. The Italian job, though, round 1 finished first and 14th. So yeah, that finish outside the top 10, their worst by far. 6th. They got race 2 of round 4, which is their next worst finish, and only a position behind Thomas Enge. So certainly they definitely a team in contention for the victory. Should Thomas Enge slip up in any way and finish outside the top 10, it's going to make it an interesting finish. Doesn't quite go quicker there, does Moll, or did go slightly quicker, but not too much. Up to 15th position. Delphant still out, so Datov is quicker, Whitbit is quicker, Nopek is quicker, and so too is Ollie Pitzik. Matthias Hladky we'll jump on board. Adam Erskine in the chat, good evening, welcome in. Thank you very much for tuning in to FRL. One of the 4 channels that FRL have got, remember it, FRL, all over ACC, be it PS5 or PC. So yeah, make sure you give their all the channels that free follow, and they've got all the races back catalogued on YouTube. So make sure you give their YouTube channel that free subscribe as well, and you can watch everything back in ultra high quality. It's just important to me. That we're in 2K again, so my apologies if the stream started for anyone, let me know, and I can restart it, because I have unfortunately forgotten to turn the stream down, so we are streaming in 2K. So yeah, so if anyone is having any problems with the stream, please let me know, and I can quickly turn it down. If not, of course, we might just get away with it. I'm good, Adam. How are you? I'm looking forward to tonight's race. We've seen some absolute crackers so far. The championship is definitely still up for grabs between a few of the teams, with the fact that we've got the 2 races a night. Really throwing that one in there. Hladky up to 7th at the minute. I've been meaning to do an onboard lap. I was looking at the resolution, but we are coming into the final sector now. Hladky can confirm is up on his time at the minute. He's got a 57.0. Eric Delphant is in the lead with a 56.3. Agornikov 56.4. Malo 56.6. Soldatov 56.7, and it looks like Hladky's trending for a 56.8. Oh, it's a 56.7. This is going to be close. Here we go. Leon Seeley in the chat. Good evening, Leon. How we doing? Now, did you win in the nightclub race on Friday? I can't remember. Race 2? Did you get the win? Hladky crossed the line, goes 5th, and it's a 56.7. He's almost equalled this time of Konstantin Soldatov. Gornikov back in the pits. Rafael Malo still out on track. Illinger still up. Whitbit still up as well. Alan Brown has got a couple of tenths, but he's got another car directly behind him. Feltham and Audi still got a position or 2 in him by the look of it. Whitbit up to 9th place, right at the death. Yevgeny Nietman following Matthew Feltham in the Michener Motorsport car. New FRL lap record. Wow. Oh, P2 in both. But there we go, new lap record. Eric Delfa, wow, 1 minute 56.2. Right, let me return to guys. We'll get the qualifying results up in a moment. I might be bad at Laguna, maybe. By 6/10. Wow. That's a decent amount of time, if we're being honest. If we're being honest. Is the Mako OP here? OP here. There's a few, and they're up at the top. It's my second favourite Scotsman. You know 2 Scottish people? I'm scared to ask who the other one is, but go for it, Chop. Sort us out it in. Right, come on. Why won't it let me in the quality results? I do know it was Delfanti that took the top spot. Chica! Okay. In that case. Fair enough. Delfanto, Kornikov, Malo. Up in the top 3 spots, Zoltatov and Hladky. Taking 4th and 5th, Balawander and 6th, Pisoni in 7th. Veldman got himself up to 8th place with Whitvit Knight and Ollie Pitsick rounding out the top 10. Yeah, we will change this to nighttime viewing mode. So we'll see the cars. Excellent. Yeah, I will get the qualifying results at some point. I don't know why we're not getting to see them. But there is where the cars finished. Let me just see if we can... Nope. We're not getting to see the numbers, and we're not going to see that either, apparently. Excellent, just what we need. But yeah, there we go, it's Delfant and Tajuddin making a debut in the series. Agornikov and Rakhmatov, Malo and Klassen with Soldatov and Anu Friev making up the front 2 rows. Ladke and De Campo starting this one from 5th place, the championship leaders. Of course, turn 1 here, very different to turn 1 for the Formula 1. It really does throw the drivers into the high-speed mix very quickly indeed. Okay, in Edinburgh for work training, so can't race tonight. Got it. I have, Colin McRae. I have a feeling the market is good here. Yes. Top 6, Pisoni and Veldman, then Whitvit in the Lambo, then a spattering of McLarens as the Lambos really bring the fight in the top 15 to the other manufacturers. 2 Ferraris down at the back, the BMW really not faring well. Nietman and Hill, no slouches behind the wheel, I can assure you. 21st position they find themselves in. It is a night-time race, 19-degree track temperature, so certainly to see, hard to tell. The 7 best eSport teams have all chosen. They'll be up there in most cars. Yes, indeed. Big up the Floppy Fox. Where is Floppy? 19th? There he is. Bringing the Ferrari. Sector blitz, the blue and gold does look good. Gotta love it. Gold up at the front with the Italian job setups team of Gornikov for VDES. He's got teammate Soldatov not far behind Rafael Malo firmly between the teammates. We should have confirmation now, yep. So the drivers' names you can see on screen are the drivers that will be starting the race. There is Salda in Rubia, at one time up in the top 5 in qualifying, starting in 13th position. But they've got good race pace, so expect them to be there or thereabout. That's just because of bad bot. Yeah, the McLaren is popular at a lot of tracks at the moment. It is certainly getting the job done, and it's yeah, you don't have to look hard to see the dominance in this championship. Of course, the top 4 teams all in McLarens, and they've got a 90-point gap back to the car in 5th, which is an Audi. So yeah, dominance on track and certainly dominating the championship. The top 5 spots would not surprise me in the slightest if the top 5 cars that got through in the automatic places were all McLarens. Even with the races that we've still got to go. Because yeah, still on the calendar we've got Valencia and the Nürburgring. So yeah, not too shabby tracks for the McLarens again. Here we come around the last corner. We will be starting the 1 hour race. There's a 10-minute pit window right in the middle of the race for the drivers to do that full service pit stop and get the driver swapped. All the telemetry is on Pit Wall Live. There's also a spreadsheet you can keep up to date with all the incidents. We're fast approaching the lights. They are red, they are green. It's foot down, it's Flow. It's into turn 1 and it's a Gornikov goes full defensive then, and that's cost Malo and his let his teammate through. Beautiful teamwork then by the 2 up at the top. I'm sure Malo will be massively disagreeing with that one as he comes under full pressure instantly from Soldatov and Ladke into Magnussen. Beckett's first time asking, and it's Philip Balawander for the petrol aficionados who's watched that battle intently ahead of him. He's got a good run into Magnussen. Beckett's Delphante does exactly what he needs to do. Gornikov did exactly what he needed to do, and Malo lost that position then. Soldatov up to 3rd place. Balawander, Pisoni in the absolute, and he's had a massive drop down the field. Let's have a look back and see. And that is the Italian jobs car that's trying to go round it. It's gone up the inside. They've made contact on the way to Magnussen. Beckett's. They've made contact on the 2nd apex. They've been rotated. Another car has been completely spun as well. Passano, Yevgeny Naitman. And he's made contact on his way through as well. There's a BMW. That's 21st place. It's Thomas Nopek and Alan Brown at the minute, but that's not who that was. That was David Hill's car, his teammate starting. Too much excitement, can't figure out who that was, but there's places dropped, not at the front though. Delphante, Gornikov and Soldatov, the top 3. Malo in 4th, Balawander in 5th. It's Ladke in 6th position for Thomas Eng. The championship leaders have got Pitsick, Whitfit and Rock Klops up 2 positions as well. Max Leonard. We've got another car dropping down the order. Malt Pauly then flashing these lights, finding himself in some kind of issue. That's the Porsche just ahead of him. Yeah, a bit clumsy there by a couple of drivers. He comes off the Hamilton straight. The Audi with a big send up the inside. Has he gone too deep? He has indeed. He's nowhere near made that corner. And on the exit, that's a bit untidy on the way out. You can see why Pauly was flashing these lights there. He'd already dropped down a couple of positions. Back up at the front, no Rafael Malo in no way, shape or form giving up on the task at hand, which is getting at least back onto that podium. We've got Soldatov and Gornikov working beautifully ahead of him, and Delphante using every advantage he can get with these guys battling in the opening laps to already get a 9/10 of a gap. Luciano Whitfit at 9th place. He's got Rock Cops chasing him along the Wellington Straight into the final few corners. And Max Leonard there in the background, you can see bringing a strong train of people. Michael Firth involved in close battling as well. He has got Zupanchik in the Porsche that we just saw going past Feltham as he's chasing down Goodway. And here you can see the Porsche way later on the brakes there, comes right in. And a Nopek, Thomas Nopek for Guerrilla Racing. Another car that's dropped down the field. And that's clumsy. Alan Brown very almost unwittingly makes contact, and he's got Pisoni behind him, absolutely flying. Pisoni was saw clumsily taken out. Clumsy bit of contact through Maggots and Becca, seen him drop down the order. Alan Brown going full sideways on the exit the club just to keep the car going in the right direction. They're all keeping it very close indeed. Still in Rubia hunting down Liam or Goodway, still no way, shape or form out in this battle yet, and Montpellier definitely still in the running. Still in the running. We do see a big gap on the track map is where I was going with that one. Oh, a big send up the inside then. Woodward fully aware of his surroundings there, not 100% sure the Guerrilla Racing driver was as he sends it too deep on the exit. He's given himself a whole lot of work to do. He's lit up his tyres. We've got a car off track that's not triggering a yellow flag. We do have a car. It's Malt Holly. He's dropped down the order some more then. Feltham. Oh yeah, we can see that big send from the Guerrilla Racing car in the background. Oh, did he? I mean, he was. Yeah, okay, we can. I don't know. We'll let the steers look at that one. Malt Holly's touched the gravel there, so I'm stuttering and stammering over my words. Guerrilla Racing did make the corner on exit. At first glance, it didn't look like any of the tyres were within the track limits. Certainly, Malt Polly got Alan Brown, and he's probably lucky as well. Alan Brown that is behind him there. He's now got Alan ahead of him, but Alan pulling up through turn number 1 there, so as not to make a bad situation worse for all concerned. No bad situation for Eric Delfante, the Italian job setups car. 1.3 seconds in the lead. Soldatov half a second down on his teammate in third, with Rafael Malo still chasing. He's managing to get a bit of a gap to Philip Balawan, the petrol aficionados. The rear gunner for the McLarens, he's got Illinger for Fast Forward Racing. Behind him, Matthias Ladke in 7th, Ollie Pitzik in 8th, with Whitfit in 9th, and Max Leonard in 10th place. Of course, this we put him in first in race 2, but that is still 54 minutes and 25 pit stops away. And Rubia just outside the top 10, with Rock Cobbs back in his qualifying position of 12th place. We'll get some close-up cams so we can see some of the cars there. Alan Brown now, as we saw, ahead of Paulie Pisoni, back up to 21st, with Hitchum Doobie, the wayward Italian job car, in the opening stages. Just about to try and make an overtake on Thomas Nopeg, the Guerrilla Racing car that went full send these few corners last lap. Oh, and he's gone across the nose of him a bit early there. Oh, he's got a lot of damage. Oh, he hadn't quite got in front when he tried to go across. He's managed to save the car ever so slightly. Not, he's lost the back. Oh, I'm still stuttering and stammering over my words because there's a lot to take in. And don't want to sound too judgy, but yeah, the car going both ways there, maybe a bit too keen on the accelerator. The car snapping left then right, and that's Hitchum Doobie with even more work to do. Pretty much at the back of the field now. Williams making up a position, Yateman ahead, closing in on Paulie, who's still around at the back of Alan Brown. Pisoni and Nopeg up ahead, going side by side with Zubanchik in the Porsche, still trying to get his way past Michael Firth up at the front. Still as you were, Gornikov losing time to Delfante while keeping his teammate just at arm's length, with Rafael Malo he's within arm's length, let's call that like it is, along the Wellington Straight. It's Rafael Malo chasing down Soldatov, the McLarens here, 2.5 seconds up now on Balawander, who is still finding time on Illinger. Ladke looking to get an overtake done there to continue his charge. Although, if I was Ladke, and again, this is why I'm a commentator, I'd be quite happy with 7th in a minute, because it puts you in 3rd place for the start of the next race. That, of course, won't be a thought process that you'll be going through at the minute. Maximise your points return from every single race. is absolutely the best strategy. Rafael Malo looking to do just that. Started in third, he's still got that half a second deficit to overturn. Yeah, it is only half a second as they make their way on to lap number 5. It's still Delfante, Gornikov, Soldatov and Malo, the lead group. Oh, but getting close to pit 6. Not quite so close through Maggots and Beckett's then. Michael Firth catching up to Dave Goodway. This could be a very good overtake as they head towards Chapel. The McLaren, the Ferrari goes right up the inside. You can forgive me. Oh, and the Lambo, let's see, has he managed to hold on to that? Yes, he has. Goodway makes a break for it as the Porsche's Panchik has a look up the inside of Firth there. So Firth not able to make that overtake stick, and Rubia all over the back of Max Leonard. Battles for top 10 positions going on, and of course Dominic Illinger coming under all the pressure. Oh, he's got 2 wheels on the grass. I don't imagine that's going to keep the position. It certainly is not off the Hamilton straight. That's job done for Matthias Hladky. So let's see what happened then. Along the Hamilton straight and through Abbey, did he touch the inside of the curb on Farm? We saw one of the McLarens do that earlier and didn't end. Oh no, the back of the car tried to let go. That's early in the stint. He did touch the inside of the curbs on Farm, but it was forced onto him because of the Abbey exit then. Matthias Hladky. Patience is a race driver's greatest friend, the wiser man than me once told me. And yeah, Hladky, patience, the virtue shining through, holds his line. Illinger with the slightest of mistakes, and Hladky pounces. Malo's found another 10th on Soldatov, now within 3 tenths as they make their way through Chapel. It's a bit harder to tell at night sometimes. But heading down towards Stowe once again. How close is he going to get into the braking zone? 3 tenths, still 3 tenths off second. Absolutely incredible. They managed to have exactly the same time between them through the deltas. Ben Crook is looking for an overtake on Rock Cops. Cops in 12th, coming under pressure from the PLR eSports car. We saw featuring heavily last week. Michael Firth and Dave Goodway still going at it, while the Porsche intently watches behind there. You can see the Ferrari and the Lambo battling for 14th position. Panchik's SR eSports, the Slovakian driver, very late on the brakes, but compared to the cars ahead of him, closes massively on the Hamilton straight. Doesn't quite have the outcome he would have been looking for. Can he get one done onto the Wellington straight? First running a little wide of that apex than he would have liked, I would have imagined. Let's see what he can do as they head into the Village Complex. The loop can certainly throw you for a loop, and it's thrown the Lambo for a loop on exit. He's really wide. The Ferrari should get a good run up the inside. He's going to be right on the back of him then for slipstream purposes all along the Wellington straight. Not quite close enough, so he's not going to be anywhere looking on the brakes. Maybe popping out the slipstream just to get some better braking with a bit of wind resistance and the aerodynamics of the car actually being effective. Gets a good final corner though. The Porsche still lurking, so too is the Ferrari, and so too Rafael Malo. They've now got themselves a second to Gornikov, who's now got 2.2 seconds to Delfante. So he is just getting head down, absolutely getting the job done. Hladky closing in on Balawander, who's dropping time to Rafael Malo in the group ahead. Malo not dropping any time at all. In fact, is now within 3/10 of a second. So yeah, over the last 2 laps, that gap between the two of them has dropped by a 10th and stayed at that gap for the entire lap. Full commitment from both drivers then, absolutely flat out along the straight and into Abbey. Does he even lift? Oh yeah. Yeah, flat out through there is maybe a bit bonkers. But you never know. You never know with the true aliens, and these drivers up in the front, definitely the true aliens. The race pace already 1 minute 56.8, which I believe equals the fastest lap. It actually beats the previous fastest lap set here by 400ths of a second. The fastest lap at the minute in the race, 1 minute 56.855. So not only did quali beat the race, beat the previous, the current race pace is beating the previous as well. The gap up to 3.5 seconds, 3.5 tenths. It's the first time we've seen it increase. Oh, and we've missed the overtake. We've missed the overtake. Neil Woodward tumbling down the order. Right, we'll see what's happening here to Neil Woodward. We've missed the overtake. Michael Firth is ahead at Dave Goodway, so we'll see if we can maybe catch that as well. Right, I've missed what's happened. Oh, and there we go then, through the loop. This time around, Firth getting the job done and leaving the arriving drive Ferrari to deal with the Porsche that's just arrived on his rear spoiler under the bridge along the Wellington Straight. The Porsche having a good look up the inside. We've seen how good he's been on the brakes here so far. Takes up the inside curve bravely up the inside curve, and it does look like he got the overtake done. So let's jump back and have another look at that. And in fact, he's already got the overtake done, of course. So Sapancek once again chasing Firth. Dave Goodway down 2 positions. Got Thomas Nopek and Leonardo Pisano back up to 18th position. The 2 drivers now chasing him. Del Fante is doing nothing but chasing fastest laps at the minute of Gornikov. Still got his teammate firmly in sight in his rear view mirror. His teammate has got a whole lot of headlights still shining in his rear view mirror. 0.2 of a second still. The gap between the 2 podium protagonists. The 2 main protagonists for the final podium spot, Luciano Whitvet, the driver in 9th, still putting pressure on Ollie, Pitzig and Rubia and Leonard. 0.4 of a second apart, the 2 Lampos battling to get top 10, and of course start first in race number 2. Dave Goodway going to try and chase back Zupancek. We have seen a penalty handed out. David Medao of the Italian job. Now they've been in and done a driver swap, but it was out with the pit window, so it won't actually count. They're coming to get some damage, so they're going to have to come back in. But a 20-second penalty they've been given, and Alan Brown has suddenly tumbled massively down the order. And whatever it was happened a long time ago, because he is all on his own there. Doesn't look like a lot of damage on the car, if any at all, so I'm not sure what happened there. But Brown, as you can see, well down the order. Skemo de Guerra, my apologies. I struggle with the English language, which is of course my native tongue. If we could pop them in English though, in J position, Super Chorus 84. Yeah, there isn't a car 84 either, unfortunately. But yeah, if you can pop in English, we will we'll give you an update on where the positions are. In fact, we'll give you an update on everyone, an update on where the positions are, as we are 18 minutes into the race, fast approaching the pit window, and it is Del Fante for the Italian Job Setups team leading the way. Gornikov for VDES Junior in second, Soldatov for VDES in third, with Malo for Simply Race in fourth. Balamander for the Petrol Aficionados have got fifth, with Fladke for Thomas Eng. Championship leaders now within a second of the aforementioned Petrol Aficionados car. Dominic Illinger in seventh very comfortably at the moment, with Ollie Pitzig and Team Ballas Ukraine. And Simply Races Luciano Whitvet battling out for eighth at the minute. They've got Max Leonard The Panda Esport Racing Lamborghini trying to fend off the Tire Sim Racing Lamborghini, guided at the moment by Salva in Rubia. Rock Corps of Fun Sim Racing still holding on to 12th position from Ben Crook in the PLR Esports Mercedes. Michael Firth in the Sector Blitz racing car, being hunted down by Lukas Zapanchik in the Slovakian Esports third car. Penalties coming in for Thomas Nopek, the Gorilla Racing car. We saw wavered earlier. Dave Goodway, the lead FRL car in the championship, 16th in the race. Thomas Nopek, the Gorilla Racing car, with lively back tyres, and the lively Leonardo Pisano behind them. We're going to see this overtake here potentially for 17th position. Both cars being gifted penalties by the stewards. Ferrari trying to go round at the outside. Can he make this one stick? The Lamborghini's going to need to be good with the back tyres if he's going to keep the momentum. Oh, and the Ferrari just about keeping it between the Mayo and the Mustard as they head into Club. Not a fan of the Ferrari through this one particular corner here. This exit here can be fun, but it is beautifully done by Leonardo Pisoni, guiding that one through and getting himself up to 17th position. The two drivers will have that time to spend though in the extra time to spend in the pit box when they come in for their mandatory driver swaps. Simple Race Esport, the car I spotted earlier on, that was the BMW that started in 21st. It dropped down after avoiding an incident. They're now back up to 19th. Montpellier for Lockup Racing in the same boat in 20th position. Matthew Feltham for the Michelin Motorsport car in 21st, with Neil Woodward, one of the FRL Ferraris, in 22nd. James Williams in the other one, now ahead of Alan Brown as we saw, and David Madau in the Italian job car, one of the lead cars in the championship, find themselves down in 25th position, or sorry, at least one of the lead teams in the championship. Rafael Malo now under a 10th, less than a 10 separating these two. Well, along the Wellington straight, he really was very close indeed. Heavy on the brakes, rotates the car well. Oh, very close there. The McLaren ahead, just letting go of the curve a little bit too early, then got the double rotation, but you can see the extra speed that Malo had as they head into Verstappen corner. He's around the outside and he's not got the positions. The McLaren on the inside manages to keep the run, keeps the inside line. Does he get the cutback through turn number 1? Surely not on the way to Magnussen Beckett's. Who's got the better run? Is the VDES junior car just keeping his nose in front, and that's exactly why there was less than a 10 separating them through that last timing sector. Malo really looking to get himself back onto that podium. Soldatov gifted the position when his teammate went defensive through turn number 1. And these two have been absolutely inseparable since. Speaking of inseparable, Luciano Whitfield will certainly be hoping that he can get separated a bit from Ollie Pitzig. He's not been able to get the overtake done, and Max Leonard is closing in. So too is in Rubia within 8/10 of a second. Zupanchik still all over the back of Firth. He's got Goodway just behind him as well. So still a great battle there. Zupanchik having a look up the inside off the Wellington straight, and that's not the right car. This is, no, has he got it done? No, he's not. The Ferrari holds his line, takes a very quick line there. All the track used, absolutely beautiful by the Ferrari. And the Porsche will have to fend. Oh, or is he going to be defending on this lap? Is he going to be attacking? Let's see if they get through turn number 1 past the pit boxes, all up of course. Oh, the back of the Lambo, how has he saved that? That is an incredible save by Dave Goodway. Can we all please take to our feet? Standing ovation. Two absolute otherworldly saves I've seen tonight. Dave Goodway with an absolute cracker there. Absolutely one for the highlight reel there for Dave. Ben Crook in 13th position then in the Mercedes. We've got another penalty being handed out to car 69, Thomas Nopek. in the Lambo. That is a big penalty. 30 seconds of penalties have been added. Let's keep an eye on at the front. We've got equilibrious gaps now. Del Fante 4.5 seconds ahead of Gornikov, who's now 4.5 seconds ahead of Soldatov. So Soldatov really did get the brief, get in front of Malo and keep Malo back there. It's exactly what he's done to two of them. Putting absolutely impeccable laps at the minute. Soldatov's quickest lap of 1 minute 57.112. Malo's quickest lap of 157.067. So half a tenth separating their fastest laps. It is Malo that's put in the fastest lap. He's got a whole lot of slipstream. Matthias Ladke is now well within striking distance of Ballawender. So more McLaren on McLaren action. Dominic Illinger in 7th. Oh, Leonard, Whitfit and Pittsick are getting very close as well through Magnussen Beckett's. We're seeing some dust kicked up bravely. And here we can see the cars not too far behind. Coming into Magnussen Beckett's as well. Leonard very close to the back. And Ruby now 1.4 seconds back. Zupancic within 0.3 of a second of Michael Firth as well. It's all coming alive with 40 seconds before the pit window opens. The drivers are really giving their pit crew a bit of extra pressure then. Anyone on automatic pit boxing, you're out with this race. It is so close at the minute. Zupancic still all over the back of Firth. Del Fante 4.8 seconds. He is finding time lap on lap on lap. 57.4. So he was a bit slow in that last lap. By his standard, 57.4, 56.8 is his quickest lap. So yeah, still within 6 tenths. Soldatov, yep, third. Malo still in 4th. There is the pit box open, pit window open. The pit boxes are of course open the full race. Who is going to come in first? They've got 10 minutes to come in and get the job done and get back out on track. Hand it over Malo. As I say, Soldatov, I'm sure his teammate will be absolutely delighted, and Malo does indeed come in to take the pit stop, looking for the undercut. They're the first team in. Ladke stays out, Ballawender stays out, Illinger stays out, Whitfit staying out as well. We'll see if any of the teams further down the field come in. Alan Brown has popped himself into the pits early as well. So is Ollie Pittsick then. He was under a lot of pressure from the drivers around him. You can see instantly down to 13th position. Max Leonard continues the battle now inside the top 10. Luciano Whitfit though still the driver firmly ahead of him. Del Fante now 5.4 seconds ahead of Gornikov. Incredible pace. Malo very much stationary in the pit of course, and you can see dropping down the order. This really is one of these tracks that is very easy to lose time with a lot of long straights, but it's very easy for a lot of drivers to be very competitive round here. And I'm sure, oh, Martin Klassen, was that did he just touch the wall on the way out? No, he didn't. He just had to right the car. Unbelievably keen to get the car back out on track. It is Martin Klassen for Simply Raced. He came in, of course, qualified third. Came into the pits from 4th place, back out in 18th position. Lewis Robinson comes out for FRL, takes over from Alan Brown. Matthew Feltham has come in for MMS. And that's all the pit stoppers we've got at the minute, so we'll see what's happening up at the front. Ballawender no way giving up on Ladke now that Ladke is ahead of him, so we'll have actually missed the overtake there. And it was during the pit stop, well, everyone was coming into the pits, but that is Ladke. 4th position at the minute. We're right in the middle of the pit window though, so we'll see how that irons out, but that should be another position gain. Whitfit still chasing Max Leonard. Oh no, Leonard's ahead. Leonard is ahead of Luciano Whitfit. Let's have a look and see how this happened then. So into the Village Complex. Oh, there's a big look up the inside of the loop. Absolutely stunning overtake then. The door left wide open. I was looking at the telemetry there, so I didn't see if... Obviously, I looked away from the screen at the most critical part of the overtake. Is that not what you're supposed to do as a top-class commentator? But certainly, yeah, that was Whitfit. And he's run deep again. What is going on with Luciano Whitfit? He's lost a couple of positions there, as that is in Rubia and another Lambo making his way past. Okay, so they caught up to Ellinger as well, so Ellinger might be slightly off the pace as well. Oh, that's not Ellinger, sorry, that's the other McLaren, other Audi, who's just out of the pits. Oh, he's run a bit deep, so nothing actually ailed him there. He was just side by side. Oh, and then potentially bit of a fright as the other Lambo came firmly into view. It's safe to say, but Whitfit losing 2 positions then during the pit window. So it's really come to life position-wise during these pit stops. Anu Friev has come into the pits then. I didn't even see that, and would you believe it, there is 3 tenths separating the VDES car and Martin Klaassen in the simple race. Ladke's come in. Ladke's come into the pit, so too's Dominic Ellinger and in Rubia and Whitfit. They're all coming in. Halfway mark once again seems to be the popular choice. Anu Friev, can he fend off for a Gornikov? So the undercut not quite working for Klaassen. In Simply Race, Anu Friev holding the position as they exit onto the Wellington Straight for the 14th time of asking, certainly for the cars, of course, the drivers just out on track. Can he get it done into the braking zone? No, he cannot. Can he get it done through the middle corner phase? That is a beautiful entry there from Klaassen. Look how close he's managing to get. That is incredibly close through Luffield. They are nose to tail. This is going to be a fun one. Into turn number 1. Well, we'll see a corpse in corpse. He's going to go round at the outside. Of course he is. They're going to go side by side. Oh, we saw the teammates try this earlier on. Has he got enough grip to get the exit? Not quite. Does manage to hold on to that though. Incredible talent between these two. Oh, he signals for a look on the way to Maggotts and Beckett, and still manages to hold the car. Loses a couple of feet between the two cars. Can he get it done on the exit? Firth into the pits. Nopek in. Woodward in. Williams in. Cars in the pits all over the place. Ladke, his car is out of the pits. He is behind. De Campo is out, and yeah, of course it is De Campo that's out for Ladke. There's confirmation of that. It says that he is directly behind Klaassen. Delphante, race leader, coming into the pits. Gornikov, of course, still to come into the pits. We've got 3.5 minutes left of the pit window. So yeah, still easy another lap for these drivers. Anu Friev, absolutely job done. Delphante, more than anything, absolutely job done. Took pole position and is led from start to finish. Gornikov has stayed out. Oh, speeding in the pit lane, Neil Woodward. Chris Soter with another trip into the pits. And yeah, his stint stationary, 30 seconds. Oh, 2 wheels on the grass as well. Not the outlap that you need in those circumstances. Delphante, Leonard, Crook in the pits. There is Tajuddin exiting the pits. 5.5 seconds up the road. Pasoli coming into the pits, made up the 7th position, and Goodway has stayed out. Anu Friev and Klaassen. Oh, and again they've gone side by side on the way into turn number 1. Klaassen really looking to get that overtake done, not able to do so. Let's have another look at this one, the battle between these two, because Delphante his car has made it back out in front of both of them comfortably. Oh, it's such a better exit from Luffield on the last 2 laps. Not able to swing the car past though. Beautiful driving by both drivers. Klassen really looking for the overtake. Needs to find a worldie of one. Those we can see from the defensive display from Anufriev. There is Emmanuel Tajadin in the Italian Job Setups car. Was handed the lead. I was handed the car for the lead of the race. There is Gornikov coming into the pits. Balawander in as well. So we're going to really see how this is shaping up. Nico Veldman and Danny Santo both out. Cody Cosford out for Simply Race. In 9th position, Remy Loesch and Panda Esports. We've got Micha Milodanovic in 11th for Fun Sim Racing with Lorenzo Trizoldi out in the Mercedes. For PLR Esports, plays Majan in 13th position. Sergio Osorio now out for the FRL Arrive and Drive car. David Hill's out for Simply Race Esports up to 17th position. So a good race for them despite the early incident. Hitcham Duby still to come into the pit for a driver swap. Got 40 seconds to do so. So he's going to miss the pit window and get another penalty, unfortunately. Lewis Robinson. Derek Broth being overtaken by Joe Playster, the MMS car, back out. And there's Bjorn Dale there in the Gorilla Racing car. One of the cars with the sizable penalty from the opening exchanges. Oh, Remy Loesch with the stop-go 30-second penalty as well. That slipped under my radar a bit. The Panda Esports car with the stop-go 30-second penalty. That's going to bring Milodanovic to Soldi and Majan all right into the hunt. Hitcham Duby then confirmation. Missed the pit window, so won't be able to make a legal driver swap. Or certainly not one that will satisfy the terms of the race, so will receive a time penalty. Tajidin 7.7 seconds up the road, carving his way through the field. Rakhmetov in second, Anufriev in third, Klassen in fourth, De Campo in fifth, Nico Veldman in sixth, Jimmy Lynn out for the petrol aficionados in seventh, Danny Santo for Tire Sim Racing in 8th place. Ahead still of the Simply Race Esports car, Cody Cosford in 9th, but Remy Loesch behind him in 10th has got that stop go 30-second penalty that will need to be served in the next 2 laps. So that's going to separate those two absolutely massively. Of course, it's going to bring Remy right down the field. Someplace in around Hill, in fact. So yeah, we could see those two battling. Normally you see them battling much further up the field. Derek Brough back into the pit, so a second pit stop there for Brough. You can only imagine that would be some kind of error during the pit stop, either wrong tyres or maybe not enough fuel. It does unfortunately happen, so bear with me 2 seconds. So yeah, 22 minutes to go. Brough in the pits, Tajidin in first place still. Wings says go Dale. Vale Depew says never back down, never give up for the meme, the dream, the stream and the team. Vale Depew, welcome in. I like that one. Wings saying go Dale, Bjorn Dale. We've got some fans in the chat, there we go. The Guerrilla Racing team certainly with an uphill struggle at the moment. That penalty seeing them well down the order. So a lot to do in the closing stages of the race. but certainly a team that's got the pace to still manage to do so. But yeah, 18th position at the minute. Cody Cosworth has been overtaken by Remy Loesch. Loesch up to 9th. But again, with that penalty, going to drop down Rakhmatov. And if I need to come in on this pit, I think Rakhmatov still in second, with Anu Friev still fending off Martin Klaassen. This is going to be an almighty battle in the second race. De Campo closing in 2.7 seconds ahead of the two drivers ahead. Hasn't quite put in a lap as fast as these two, but is a couple of tenths quicker lap on lap at the minute, and you can see he's got a good view of the tail lights of the two of them in the distance there. Remy Loesch, I believe, coming into the pit. Yeah, there he goes into the pits to take that stop go 32nd. We'll see just how far down the order that one drops. In 15th place, Mike Pasemko for the Absolute Motorsport team, one of the other teams with a huge penalty. All over the back of Gibbons, who's taken over a course for Michael Firth. Ferrari on Ferrari action. How these two get on. Sorry, you know that feeling you get when you've made yourself the absolute worst cup of tea in the world. Pasemko, there's the stop, go clear. The sorry of the 16th hill. Dale in 18th. Remy Loesch back out 17th position at the minute, I think. Oh no, not quite behind Dale, 17th. Pasemko looking for the overtake. Here still up at the up ahead of where Remy Loesch now is. Loesch with the stop go 32nd, 17th position. Definitely got off a bit lightly there considering how close the field are. Danny Santo then for Tyre Simracing. Another race comfortably inside the top 10, and it could be 7th if Jimmy Lynn doesn't find an extra couple of tenths per lap over the closing 19 minutes. The petrol aficionados driver coming under all kinds of pressure from Santo in that Lambo. Milanovic closing in on Cody Cosworth, who's now 1.1 down on the battle that we're currently watching. Anu Friev still got Klaassen within. Oh, Jimmy Lynn, the petrol aficionados. He needed to find a couple of tenths per lap, and he unfortunately found the grass on the inside of turn 1. Does manage to hold on to the car, and an incredible save as well by Danny Santos. Let's not overlook or downplay the save there. That is not the corner you want to be making adjustments at, and Jimmy Lynn's going to have to make several adjustments to the position, as we can see in the background. That is Cody Cosworth looking to improve on his position. Then he's now got Jimmy Lynn just ahead of him, the petrol aficionados driver. Not quite. Can we see Dale, please? Let's go Tajuddin, commentator, get him a raise. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. BMW is a snail round here. It feels like you're pulling 100 tons behind the car. Yeah, the BMW does, like I say, I was surprised because yeah, David Hill and his teammates, they're no slouches at all, and they qualified in 21st, which blew my tiny little mind. But they've made up good positions in the race despite having to take massive avoiding action and actually dropping places at the start. The team have made it back up with the 5-place improvement on their start. So if they can do that again in race number 2, they'll be on the verge of a top 10. Let's keep an eye on Cody Cosworth for Simply Race then. He has got Jimmy Lynn still just ahead of him, and Micha Milanovic still very close indeed as they head towards Luffield. Yes, it is. It's very dark. but that is Luffield, that is the pit entrance, this is the start-finish straight, this is Micha Milodanovic for Fun Sim Racing. Of course, they qualified in 12th place, they're up to 10th along the start-finish. You can see the Lamborghini's tail lights just ahead. Through Maggots and Beckett's. He really is pushing the limits on the way through there. He knows those positions are just ahead. Speaking of positions just ahead, Sergio Osorio looking to close up on Mike Pasemko, the Absolute Motorsport car, looking to make a big charge through the field. They've got Barry Gibbons just ahead of them. Pasemko is, safe to say, a bit quicker at the minute, and in fact a bit quicker overall, 57.9 the quickest car, the quickest lap for the Absolute Motorsport team. And you can see he really is using as much of those curves as possible. Flying onto the straight, into Stowe once again. We're going to see some side-by-side action. He's got to look up the inside. Surely he's going to get this one done on the brakes. Not much of a defence put up from Gibbons. He just holds his line, and the extra pace of Pasemko gets his nose in front. It's going to be an interesting one on the way into club. They're still side by side, so Gibbons saying not putting up too much of a defence. He certainly didn't back out with that in any way, shape or form. Pasemko having to work for that all the way through there, but he does get that work done. Jimmy Lynn has been overtaken by Cody Cosworth, and he's about to be overtaken by Micha Milodanovic as well, potentially off the Wellington straight into the final two corners. He's going to get this done before Luffield. Phenomenal driving there. Let's see if we can catch both overtakes. We can, in fact, as we see Jimmy Lynn is still ahead. Oh, and that's the wiggling club that you do not want. I did mention a while ago, so many of these corners, it's vital to get the exit because of the high speed straights. That is where you need not only the entrance but the exit as well. He didn't have either there, Jimmy Lynn. And heading into Abbey, even I leaned over there. Everyone in their chair currently leaning over to see exactly where this gets done, and it's into the village complex by the look of it on the way through the loop. We're going to see the second overtake as it is Milodanovic joins Cosworth. Oh, he gets the cut back on the exit on the way out of the loop, or does he? No, he doesn't. He opens up the corner beautifully, does get well positioned through the loop and along the Wellington straight and towards Luffield just as we joined it, so we'll get to see this overtake again. He's got some good pace there, Jimmy Lynn, moving over, opening the door. If you can make this one stick, and go for it. And yeah, Milodanovic definitely making that one stick, but this does mean that Jimmy Lynn and the petrol aficionados will start in pole position in race number 2. Milodanovic and Cosworth will start second and third. Of course, Emmanuel Tajidin and the Italian Job Setups at the moment are tracking to start race 2 in 10th position. Seemingly poetic as they're 10.5 seconds in the lead at the minute. Anu Friev in third, Klassen in fourth, De Campo in fifth, Veldman in sixth, Santo in 7th position. Great race for the Tyre Sim Racing team. Osorio's looking for an overtake by the look of it. He's got Barry Gibbons ahead of him. We've seen the Osorio and the FRL arrive and drive car have a couple of battles with other FRL cars over the piece. Bjorn Dale all over the back of Remy Loesch. So two top 10 contenders battling out for 17th position at the minute after those extended stops in the pits due to penalties, be it from the stewards or from the in-game stewards, who are still stewards but they're virtual rather than the real ones. I think we'll all get where I was going with that one. Matteo De Campo, Thomas Eng Sim Racing, I think we all know where they're heading. In further inside the top 5 potentially. Martin Klassen at the minute unable to find his way past Anu Friev, and is finding his way well into the grasp of De Campo. As we can see them making their way through club and onto the Hamilton straight into Abbey. More high speed action. Tajidin absolutely flying out at the front. 1 minute 56.9. His previous lap, which is only 0.11. It's basically a tenth slower than the fastest lap of the race. That is what you call consistency right there, and that is why he's 11 seconds up the road on the rest of the field. Race 2, top 10, reverse order grid. Hands up if you're excited. Sorry, I need to use one of my hands. I had both hands up there. I need one of them to control the mouse. But yeah, no, race 2 is going to be absolutely incredible. We've still got 12 minutes of race number 1 to go. Sorio still got a few laps to get the job done on Gibbons. If he can Hill, Lotion, Dale get overtakes done there as well. The Guerrilla Racing team is not ahead of Lowe's because he is now defending from Playster. No, he's not. That's a back marker, so that's why they've been separated. My apologies. False information, but that is the other Audi. Matteo De Campo is all over the back of Martin Klaassen. Again, the reverse order grid will kick in. Look how close he gets to Magnussen. Beckett's on as avoiding action has been taken by both cars here. I'm not quite sure which car had a bit of a wiggle there, but from first look, I'm glad I'm a commentator because that was definitely clean up on aisle 3 for both drivers there. They were very much in the process of 2 becoming 1 there before extra steering wheel input was added by both drivers through that corner complex. They are separated by pretty much milliseconds at the minute. We're less than half a second exiting club. That means a lot of slipstream for De Campo along the Hamilton straight. Extra bit of lift, that's all good for the momentum as he exits and heads into the village. Look how quickly Klaassen gets through that corner, but look how quickly De Campo closes up into the village complex. He's going to be late on the brakes, he's going to get the car rotated. Has he gone too deep? He's kept it between the Mayo and the Mustard on the exit. What an overtake by Matteo De Campo. Klaassen absolutely saw it coming. You do need 2 world-class drivers to make an overtake like that, and there's Klaassen comes right back at him. Absolutely not to be outdone. Martin Klaassen gets the overtake and gets the position retaken as they head into the final sector. We need to get a longer replay of this. They're side by side heading into Luffield. It's Klaassen that's got his nose back in front. Let's have a look at this one as it plays out once again. Martin Klaassen fending off the advances of De Campo, but for how long? At the minute, onto the Hamilton straight once again. We can see just how close these 2 cars are. I did say the extra momentum from the slipstream along here could be handy on. It looked like Klaassen with an extra dab of the brakes on the way through. That is why De Campo got so close. And he does look at the extra work on the brakes, using the gears, the engine braking from gearing down absolutely beautifully. Keeps it between the Mayo and the Mustard, but on exit, here comes Martin Klaassen. What a run through the loop he got. Takes it up the inside line, goes side by side along the Wellington straight, and he's back in front before they get to the bridge into the braking zone. It's Klaassen's corner. De Campo tries to send one around the outside to take the apex on the Luffield exit, but nothing doing there as the back of the McLaren moves ever so slightly laterally and sees Klaassen back in front. We jump back on board with these 2 through the same corner complex. I guarantee everyone at home is smiling as much as I am right now. Phenomenal driving from these 2 up at the front, and that's the battle for 4th position between those 2, by the way. Tajuddin absolutely smoking the rest of the competition up at the front. He's just done a 157.1 again, no more than 3/10 slower than the fastest lap of the race. That is incredible consistency and exactly what you need in a race like this. He's got another back marker that he's coming up to, but I don't imagine there'll be too many dramas there given the pace he's got. Let's see what we've got up here though. Thomas, Eng and Simply Race still going in off the Wellington straight once again. Can he carve out an overtake? Klaassen and De Campo, an absolute chess match on track between these 2 as one tries to fend off the other's world level attacks with world level defence. Out of Luffield once again, only Martin Klaassen and the Simply Race car. The number of laps that they've been separated by less than 2/10 from another car through Luffield is incredible. Whether it be Anu Friev and the drivers ahead in the VDES McLaren, or De Campo and the McLaren behind, incredible stuff. Surely Simply Race driver of the day, team of the day, just incredible. Tajuddin let's face it, if you're going to take pole position and then run it from start to finish, it's pretty hard to look past that as a phenomenal team effort. De Campo looking to hang in at that slipstream, Klaassen doing anything he can to shake him out with that slipstream as they head once again into Stowe. Definitely as they head through Vale, a veil of solid darkness has definitely descended. We are I've changed the contrast ever so slightly, but for the drivers it will be very, very, very dark out there on track. Milodanovic and Cosford are still going at it. Nope, they've been separated ever so slightly. Let's get back up to De Campo and Klaassen once again. Oh, and it is once again. This time he's going for the outside line through the village complex. He wants the inside through the loop. Is he going to give him Klaassen a taste of his own medicine? Is he going to repeat the overtake? Oh, and they made a bit of contact on the way through. Not quite got it. He did get the car in front. They made a bit of contact on the exit, but it is De Campo that's finally found the way to get that overtake and get himself ahead of Martin Klaassen in the Simply race car. What a battle these two have had. Oh, look how close. Oh, and he even held a bit of slide. Gets the car on the apex. Oh, so unfortunate to have had that contact there. That is how close these two were on the exit. But it is Thomas Eng Sim Racing that have gotten themselves 6th place start in the next race and 4th place finish in this race. At the moment, we've got 5.5 minutes left to go. Blaze Nation for the Slovakian esports third car, of course, in the port, still chasing down to Solde in the PLR esports Mercedes. Jimmy Lynn still hanging on to 10th position, which of course means first in the starting order in race number 2. Martin Klaassen, oh, he's not giving up on this one by any stretch of the imagination. 4 tenths separating these two cars into Stowe once again. Lou, let's go. Tajideen, come and see Dale, please. Indeed. I love this commentator, says Phil. Thank you very much indeed. I love Dale, says Wings. Dale Earnhardt, says Smiley. Can we get a bit... oh, these two are a bit close to be taking our eyes off them. Tell you what, let's do a bit... because it is a very good livery as well, so... oh, and he is very close, actually. Oh, he's being unlapped. There it is, Bjorn Dale there in the Guerrilla Racing Lamborghini. That is a lot of R's for one Scotsman in one sentence. Yeah, a couple of penalties early doors. I've seen them drop down the order. 18th place at the minute, of course. The grid will all start right next to one another in race number 2. The top 10 will be reversed. So yeah, good opening through Maggots and Beckett's this time out. Could certainly see them yielding much better results. Mitja Milodanovic looking to yield better results at the expense of Cody Cosworth. He's still putting the Lamborghini under pressure. Klaassen still 6 tenths downhill. Osorio and Gibbons still having themselves a battle. Not a big fan of that camera, if I'm being honest. And can't see the rear view mirror, so we'll do that one. There we go. It's worth seeing the mirror because there is Hill up to 16th position. As I said earlier, the 5th place. Oh, look how close Gibbons is getting. Oh, sorry, look how close Osorio is getting to Gibbons. Hill in the background. Still getting close as well. Another position would definitely bode well for them in the championship. The BMW, as we're seeing, not the strongest by any means. Out at this track, absolutely outgunned by all that, including actually not all just middle engine rear wheel drive, sorry, because of course the Mercedes is there, and that is definitely not middle engine. That engine is middle to front. That's huge. Sorry, not quite close enough this time. Where is Hill in the background? He's not going to be close enough either. 2.5 minutes left for the drivers to stake their claim on championship points for places in the VCO Sim Grid final. Of course, the 3-round endurance event taking place in November and December. The top 5 teams from this championship will win automatic places in the final. The top 3 in a GT3 car, 4th and 5th in a GT4 car. GT3s for the top 3, GT4s for the next 2, and then 6th, 7th and 8th, I always stumble on that even though it's written down in front of me. They'll get themselves a place in a playoff in October. The top 3 teams from the playoff will get themselves a seat in a GT4 car in the final. So yeah, 33 GT3 cars will be in the final. 28 GT4s, so should make for some absolutely phenomenal multi-class racing. This is of course the FRL Formula Racing League Super Sprint to the Grand Finals, and this is round number 5. Oh, Hill getting a bit close here and just running off track. He was looking close for the overtake. Maybe got a bit too close here, couldn't quite line that one up. Thanks to everyone for joining in. Great to see everyone in the chat. Thanks to anyone who's hit the follow button as well. I know the notifications are coming up, but for some reason it's not popping up on my feed. But I hope you're all enjoying. We've got another race to go. Oh yeah. Race number 2, exactly the same format. The starting order for race number 2, of course, determined by the finishing order from race number 1. The top 10 will be reversed. Then the race is exactly the same format. 1 hour race with a 10-minute pit window right in the middle of the race, so from 35 minutes left of the race to 25 minutes left of the race, the drivers come out, make those all important driver swaps, and then the championship points are tallied. Thomas Eng Sim Racing doing their grip on the championship, the absolute world of good with this performance, up to 4th place, and there is the leader on the final lap. So Italian Job Setups, massive apologies to the team. They've had very little camera time during the race, but they have been head and shoulders above the rest of the field. Of course, all they'll do in race 2, they'll be starting in 10th position. And we've seen how closely matched some of the teams are around here, although they are about 2/10 quicker. No one else out on track managing to do a 1 minute 56 race lap. Tajuddin with a 1 minute 56.835. Yeah, so incredibly quick times. David Hill looking for a last lap overtake potentially. He's got Osorio just ahead of him. Osorio not going to get the moves done on Gibbons by the looks of it. Gibbons just needs to hold what he's doing. This isn't the final corner, of course. This is the Hamilton Straight. This is the soon-to-be race winners. 12.9 seconds over 31 laps is not too bad a gap to put up over the rest of this field. That is for absolutely sure. Rakhmetov and the VDES team playing an absolute blinder at the start of the race, getting their second car up to 3rd place. They fended off Klassen, who's since been overtaken by De Campo. All change in race 2 though, as that reverse order kicks in for them. Blaise Majin looking to get past Trizoldi. Jimmy Lynn going to start in 1st place. Tajuddin going to come through Luffield and past the pit entrance for the final time of asking. There's one of the Italian Jobs cars just getting out of the way. There's Emmanuel Tajuddin through the last corner, crossing the line, taking the checkered flag from lights to flag. Absolutely phenomenal drive by the ITJ Setups car, and well worthy of the race win. And it is Tamir Rakhmetov that brings home 2nd place for the VDES junior team. Anya Friev making it a 2nd and 3rd for the VDES team. And Matteo De Campo crossing the line for Thomas Eng, the championship leaders, bringing it up to 4th position. Martin Klassen for Simply Race finishing in 5th. It's Nico Veldman for Fast Forward Racing flying through Luffield to bring home 6th position. As you can see, the Audi there across the line, taking the checkered flag in the background. In fact, Danny Santos managed to get ahead, as we saw, of Cody Cosworth, who got back to within overtaking distance to take 8th place, beating Milodanovic in 9th, and Jimmy Lynn for the Petrol Aficionados crosses line in 10th, takes that pole position in race number 2. Lorenzo Trizoldi for PLR brings home a very good 11th position, and Blaise Mesha, and I'm sure they'll be very happy, the Slovakian racing team, bringing home 12th. Pasemko doing all the running in the second half. The team having an up and down race, but certainly trending upwards towards the end with that 13th place finish. Barry Gibbons does manage to stay ahead of Sergio Osorio, with David Hill in 16th position. You can see them three crossing the line, and there is Remy Loesch. Despite that penalty, the Panda Esports Racing Lambo will take the checker flag for 17th position. And the Guerrilla Racing team, Hitcham Dewey did in fact pick up that penalty as expected for not changing driver during the pit window. So that will see them, of course, finish dead last. But there is the final standings. Hitcham Dewey, as we can see, Malt Pauly, Pitsick out of the race as well. So yeah, Hitcham Dewey and Madui didn't change drivers during the pit window. So they're FRL 22nd, 21st and 20th, with MMS in 19th. It was Guerrilla Racing in 18th place, Loesch and Leonard for Panda in 17th, Hill and Nietman for Simply Race in 16th, FRL Arrive and Drive Lamborghini made up to 15th, behind the Sector Blitz racing car of Gibbons and Firth. Absolute have disappeared, but those were the standings. Can the drivers swap between races? Drofter. I'm not 100% sure. You would have to double check with the organisers. I think the entry lists for the races are done before the race, so I think if they've got on the entry list before, whether that would happen, whether you could do between this, I'm not 100% sure. You would you would need to have a word with the guys and gals at FRL. Have a word with the stewards. And see what can be done. I'm just trying to re-grab the results, but they have, of course, completely gone. But we'll be back very shortly for race number 2. Still got Valencia and Nürburgring to come as well. And with Thomas Eng finishing off the podium in that race, and Rocket Simsport as well. That is going to make some interesting results. Not only going into race number 2 here, but into the final 2 rounds. So yeah, looking forward to this one. The server will be getting set up at the moment. I am going to have a very quick pit stop myself. My apologies. But we will pop on some highlights for you all to watch. Oh, server for race 2 is live. Okay, so how long do we reckon until the race start then, James? Will it be the full 15-minute practice session? $14 minutes, okay, cool, yeah. So yeah, we'll pop the highlights on. I will pour myself a fresh cup of tea and have a very quick pit stop. I really need to get a better travel car. But enjoy the highlights of race number 1. We'll be back very shortly with race number 2. Again, exactly the same format as before. 1 hour race. with that 10-minute pit window. So stay exactly where you are. I'll be back momentarily. Enjoy the highlights. Hello again, welcome back. Well, to me I suppose, and everyone's still watching of course. The highlights are on. We'll have race number 2 winging its way to us very, very shortly. It will of course be race number 9. It'll be race number 10. My apologies. Race number 10. Of course, it's an even number race. There we go. Max Lehner looking lively in the Pan Esports. It'll be race number 10 of the series. 11 and 12 will be at Valencia, and then the series finale at the Nürburgring. It's been an absolutely incredible calendar so far. Spa, Imola, Bathurst, and Kyalami. Some incredible world-class racing that we've been treated to so far. Here at Silverstone. The drivers are already in practicing. The next race, T-minus 6 minutes. So plenty of time for the drivers and teams to get themselves set, get the all-important tyre pressures and fuel calculations done. Any predictions in chat? What do we think as far as drivers and teams? Who do we think will do well in race number 2? Thomas Eng, of course, we saw a great charge back through the field in race 1 there. If they can show the same kind of pace in race 2, they'll certainly be challenging for podium positions. Right, okay, yeah, sorry, just checking the Discord there. We'll see what happens with the drivers. For Thomas Eng, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to change drivers or not. And of course as well, the other channels that, as I mentioned before, the FRL, the other channels that they've got running, they've got 2 PlayStation 5 channels running ACC, both on tonight. Their Taco tier, they're unbelievably successful. Taco Tuesday. So yeah, Taco Tuesday out tonight as well over on the other Formula Racing League. So I'm trying to multitask, read a lot of messages. But yeah, they're out tonight as well. So make sure you give them a follow as well. And as I say, the YouTube channel, you can catch up with everything. All the back catalogue races from all the Twitch channels are all catalogued there for you to go back and watch as well. T-minus 3 minutes. Until the Meta McLaren show continues. They got the job done in qualifying, they got the job done in race number 1. And it certainly looks for all the world like it's going to be another monumental mountain for the non-McLarens to climb to get themselves onto those top spots. Of course, a few of them are going to be starting ahead of the McLaren thanks to that reverse order grid. And they'll just about be starting, so I'll tell you what, let's jump back over and jump into the race server. and see what we've got for race number 2. And just before we start race 2, in fact, if there is anyone for whom the broadcast is a bit stuttery, I know we are broadcasting in 2K at the minute. You don't always get the bandwidth. So if anyone is struggling, you can click the cog at the bottom, and it will allow you to change the resolution. And if anyone is still struggling, please let me know, and I can quickly restart and change it, so there won't actually be a break in the broadcast, but it will help with the resolution. And in fact, as I say that, we need to reset this to make the remote tool work. All the technology. But yeah, still plenty of time. A minute and a half left of the practice, then it'll be straight into race number 2. Of course, pit wall live. All the data will be on there, and there is James's magic spreadsheet that can keep you up to date with all of the incidents and outcomes. So we'll see how we go in race number 2. Race winner starting in 10th. A lot of talent ahead of them. As we quickly load back in. And there we go. Whoever says I can't multitask was absolutely 100% spot on. There we go. Try talking and typing at the same time. Apparently not. But it's perfect timing. The drivers are on a 3-minute cooldown. 24 of them back in for the race. Already in the practice session they've been doing at 1 minute 57.185. And again, that's frozen, but we're fine. It is still running. The drivers are still out on track, or a couple of drivers are out on track. The majority of them are in the pits at the minute. There we go. Now, as you can see there, just as dark. Oh, and a quick 2-minute timer for them again. So the track conditions will start as the last race finished, 18 degrees, 11 PM, ×2 multiplier, of course, on the clock. Times the 10-minute pit window. There is race winners. From race number 1, Eric Delfant behind the wheel, Agornikov ahead of him, and Yufriev. And Matthias Ladke there in 7th. Matej de Campo behind the wheel for this one. Rafael Malo starting for Simply Race with Veldman. Nope, Dominic Illinger taking the first stint again for Fast Forward Racing. And Rubia back out for stint 1 for Tire Sim Racing Esports. Cody Cosford is going to start for Simply Race. Mitja Milodanovic for Fun Sim Racing. And Philip Ballowender for the Petrol Aficionado. So a couple of the teams up at the front. Changing their initial driver. Dave Goodway's out, Nateman's out, Loesch is out for stint 1, Bjorn Dale's out for stint 1 as well. So that is quite a few teams that are changing it up
30 seconds.
From race number 1. 20 seconds. Once again, it is Silverstone, 3.6 miles long. Definitely one of the flatter British circuits out there, that is for sure.
10 seconds.
When you look at places like Brands Hatch. All the fun times. All the fun times. Well, but here we go then. It's going to be a warm-up lap. The lights flashing. How will Rafael Malo do into turn 1 this time? Agornikov, Ben Crook going to start for PLR Esports right on the back of race 1 winner Blaze Mason, Leonardo Pisoni, sorry, in the Absolute Motorsport Asilith car. Now we saw quickly we're in race 1, Michael Firth. Oh no, it's Barry Gibbons that's leading the way, sorry. For the sector blitz car, Dave Goodway, Yevgeny Nateman is out, Max Leonard, it's Remy Loesch. So yeah, we'll get confirmation on the timing tower as soon as the drivers make their way through that first stint. Not the first stint, my apologies. The first sector timing line. That's when it'll all update. Let me see if that's updated. One moment. Excellent. Okay. But yeah, Pitwall Live. If you want to jump on board with the action, let's not do that because of the screeching brakes. But yeah, a lot of headlights. Just to add that. Oh, and the track's just dropped by a degree as well, down to 17. So it is going to continue to get colder. As you can see, 11:03, so times 2 multiplier. So they will go through 2 hours local time in the 1 hour race. And that pit window halfway through, going to be all important. Yehor Yuzetsky joining right at the last there. Didn't finish race 1, the Team Ballast cars were starting at the back. So of course David Medau with that massive penalty for nut swapping drivers during the pit window, saved by Yuzetsky, not finishing race 1. So it won't quite be last day. Brough, Chris Saw, Alan Brown all ahead. Matthew Feltham there in the Audi. Then is Dale and Loesch in the Lambos with Yevgeny Nateman starting this one in 16th position. 5 places made up in race number 1. Definite potential for race number 2. There's also a lot of potential for race number 2 to see a whole lot overtaking action into turn number 1 and a lot of attempts. I would say the first go into Stowe is going to be very, very, very lively as they head towards the loop to finish the warm-up lap. Balawander, it's still ended up actually 2 McLarens leading the way, but certainly 3 non-McLarens in the top 5. Definitely not the way race 1 started. As we head along the Wellingham Bridge, we've got 1 sector left of the warm-up lap, and then we are go for an hour. Predictions in the chat. Who do we think is going to win? I am not guessing at anyone this time. Who do we think? Whoever wins, we're absolutely in for some phenomenal racing to decide it. I think we'll probably stay roughly with 10th place. See how the race 1 winner gets on out with the blocks. Although, yeah, we'll maybe jump down. We'll see how Balawander gets on. Coming out with Luffield through that final corner. There is the pits. They'll all be in there at some point in the race. A couple of teams had to go in twice in race 1. That's why they're outside the top 15. There is the finish line. Here comes the lights. And it's going to be fast and furious. It's foot down, it's flat out, and away we go into turn number 1. Good start by Balawander. Dominantly takes the lead there. Oh, and it's on the inside, and Rubio around the outside. And speaking around the outside, Rafael Malo looking to get the move done on Ellinger. Matteo De Campo looking to join in as well through, side by side with the VDES junior cars. Anufria and Gornikov trying to find their way past. Nothing doing there for them. Delfanti fending off the position that he's got. Pisoni in the background going side by side through Magus and Beck. It's no contact this time around, but does get ahead of Gibbons up at the front. There's Milodanovic. who's going side by side into Stowe. I did say this one was going to be the lively corner on the first lap, and it certainly is here. And you can see Rafael Malo looking to make solid improvements on his opening lap. He's just about ahead of the Lambo. The Lambo's come right back into it. He's going to go for a cutback on the exit. The club as Milanovic has overcooked that ever so slightly. He's going to invite the tyre sim racing car up the inside, and Salva Rubia is certainly, and in the background that is Dominic Illinger facing the wrong way. Dominic Illinger on the exit to club. And he took a McLaren in the rear end. He's touched the wall, he's spun, he's going to have to hold his brakes as so many of the field go flying past. As we can see them all turn onto the Hamilton straight. Dominic Illinger then down to 24th position, an 18-point drop. Then Malo looking for more improvements, and he's maybe got this one done. Then he is ahead of Rubia. Let's just confirm that. Yes, he has indeed. Let's have another look at that one. Side by side on the exit to the loop onto the Wellington straight. Very nicely done there for Malo, showing instant and early good pace. So too is De Campo. He's got Anufriev looking to get moves done behind. Anufriev has been separated from his teammate though. Agornikov is at the back of the field. So that's Cody Cosworth ahead of him. A bit of a wiggle by the Lambo. The McLaren's got a lot of pace. There's a bit of contact on the inside. The McLaren, the Lamborghinis run wide. The McLaren. Sometimes a picture can paint 1,000 words. I'm not sure how many of them I'm allowed to use at this time of night, but yeah, certainly Agornikov now massively separated from his teammate, 23rd position. All the work to do. That was a big contact in the rear from the McLaren. Still up at the front, no Balaban, their lead. Milanovic in second, Malo in third, as in Rubia in fourth place, De Campo in fifth, Del Fante in sixth position. Blaise Mason coming under all kinds of pressure. Looks like post-race tickets for race 2. Okay, so it'll be post-race stewarding for race number 2. As we see a big wiggle from the McLaren up ahead. That was Anufriev looking a bit lively on the brakes, and he's trying to close in still on Krug. Rafael Malo has definitely got the bit between his teeth here in race number 2. Started race 1 in third. By the end of turn 1 was in 4th place, ended 5th at the minute, in third, and looking a lot quicker than Mitja Milanovic, the fun sim racing car. Currently in second. In the background, Matteo De Campo going side by side with Del Fante. So these two going side by side, all in the rear view mirrors of Rubia for the tyre sim racing car. So he's got that battle in the background. There is two McLarens right behind him. There's also two McLarens directly in front of him. So he's got a beautiful view of both of these battles. The one behind him getting ever so slightly closer every single corner as the exit turn 1 and head their way into Maggots and Beckett's. Really need to be unbelievably precise. Look how much quicker De Campo is on his way through that first sector of the first part of Maggots and Beckett's. Right on that rear spoiler along the straight into Stowe. He's got the battling McLarens still ahead of him, and it's a look up the inside for Malo. Doesn't quite make that one stick. Look to see if Milanovic would pull a defensive move. He didn't. He held his ground. The two McLarens holding their ground in the background. De Campo and Del Fante all over the back of Rubia. The lead non-McLaren at the minute in 4th place. We've already had most of the non-McLarens ejected from the top 6. There was 3 at the start of the race in the top 5, as we can see, and Rubia can see De Campo popping out the slipstream on the way into Abbey. What is he seeing up ahead of him? He's seeing Rafael Malo still absolutely pushing the buttons of Milanovic, looking for any way past it he can. Heading towards the loop, opens up the corner, really going to pull that steering wheel round to get that exit, get the foot down onto the Wellington straight, because he'll see that battle behind him. He'll know that he needs to get this overtake done sooner rather than later. He's got a good run along the Wellington straight as he gets to the bridge. He's almost side by side. Can he get it done on the brakes around the outside on the way in? Looking for a potential cutback maybe. He's taking a very good line through there. Milodanovic spending a lot of time on the curves. Malo getting much better rotation there. As you can see, he's going to get a much firmer exit, much firmer use of the accelerator, allowed with less centrifugal force on the car in the background. And Ruby has still got these two McLarens chasing him down. Milodanovic has still got the yellow and white Rocket Sim Sport car all over the back of him through turn one. Every millimetre of the track being used by all 5 cars that we can see. And in the background, the thing we've just seen in Rubia, oh no, that was a blue flag. My apologies, false news there. That was just a blue flag. Not just a blue flag, my apologies, all drivers matter, but it was a blue flag getting out of the way. It wasn't in Rubia. Finding himself under pressure. Balavander finding no pressure whatsoever up at the front. He's got a 3.5 second lead. Not that. Oh, side by side into Stowe. I did target this as a corner for some lively action on lap 1, race 2. And yeah, I did think it would be that way for the rest of the race. It looks like it is going to be, as we can see the Lambo. Oh, Malo having another look, tries to get the outside line as he brought himself under pressure from Rubia then. Ruby, we can't quite see that rear view mirror. Now we can't see the cars ahead. And the cars ahead are going to go side by side through Abbey. Oh, and then Ruby has lost it. He had a lot of pace there. He had no place to go with it. He's using the escape road. Oh, and there's Malo facing the wrong way. Malo's the wrong way and in the wall. So it's all happened there then. On the way through Club, Rafael Malo was all over the back of the McLaren's head while bringing the Lamborghini with him. Oh, and there's another car off track there just getting out of the way. So let's see what happened as he tried to go side by side. Is there a bit of a touch there? There isn't a touch. He's on the curb. There isn't a touch. Oh, and there is a touch there. Oh wow, and that has brought race 1 winner Eric Delfant. He's passed in Rubia. He's on the podium. Matteo De Campo is now in 2nd position. That is incredible stuff from Delfant and from De Campo. Although it's not really that incredible if you know that right there. We can see the touch. So the Lamborghini there we can see making that exit. The two McLarens make contact and they simply make their way through the field. Absolutely no problem whatsoever. The Lamborghini's struggling to get grip before he gets to the loop, and that really compromises his run into the loop, and he's run out over the entry curves. The Lambo slightly unsettled. The McLaren with a very good run and line. I went for there, very good run. That's line and run at the same time into the final few corners. Oh, and the McLaren really hanging on to the edge of the track. So is the Lamborghini hanging on to every bit of grip that he can, but it is inevitable that Delfant gets that overtake done finally as De Campo ahead, now hunting down the race leader. He was a couple of seconds up the road not too long ago, and in fact De Campo's in the lead of the race. So let's jump back on board and see exactly how that happened then. As we come out of turn 1 into Maggots and Beckett's. We're on lap number 4. GMLC, who was the 2 cars? It was... Oh, but there's been a couple of incidents actually. But yeah, Rafael Malo was one of those cars. Simply Race was Rafael Malo was one of the cars that was seen in the most recent incident. This is Matteo De Campo for Thomas Eng Championship leaders. Finished 5th or 6th, 4th. Finished top 5 in race number 1. Oh, round the outside on the way to the club. Absolute commitment on the brake. Oh, elbows out on the way through. And on the way out, that sees Milodanovic drop 2 positions as Delfante follows through as well. And then Ruby is not too far behind on this one either, as you can see that battle unfolding just ahead of him. He's got 3rd place firmly in his sights as Delfant has got the race win firmly in his sights. Delfant, one of the 2 fastest drivers, one of the fastest 2 drivers in race 1. The other one, his teammate. Which is quite handy. The only car to do a sub 1 minute 57 in race number 1. And and they're going to need to show that type of pace if they're going to overtake the car ahead. Dominic Illinger dropped down the order, of course, early doors after that contact, and now finds himself in 18th, trying to get past Feltham. Balawander. Yeah, another one of the cars caught out in that incident then on the way into the loop as all that overtaking was going on. Actually, Philip Balawander ends up back down in 22nd position. As we can see, this group up at the front, still well within striking distance of one another. Ben Crook, Vasily Anufriev all closing in. Leonardo Pisano right on the back of this battle as well. We saw the pace that they had in race number 1. Into Magnus and Beckett's all over the back of Anufriev. Battles within the top 10, absolutely heating up in the cold Silverstone night. The Panda Esports Lamborghini, guided by Remy Loesch, has just been overtaken by Rafael Malo, so we'll jump back on board and we'll watch that one again as well. In fact, we might get to see it here. The two yellow and white cars into Stowe through Vale. Oh no, he's already got the move done. In fact, we won't jump on a replay of that. We'll have a look up and see the live action between Anufriev. There's confirmation that the positions have changed. Delphant takes the purple lap, and Rubia looking to take third place. Delphant looking to take the race win if he can. He needs to take the lead first, and he's got to get past the Campo first if he is going to do that. We saw Klassen and Anufriev have a ding-dong battle, and Klassen not able to get the overtake done. And Candy Campo, he might be a little bit quicker. Delphant might be a bit quicker than De Campo, but yeah, it's all about getting the overtake done. So much pace there through Stowe, absolutely nailed it. Nothing separating the two of them into club once again, side by side. Oh, he's touched the sausage curb, it's knocked him ever so slightly off. Oh, and both cars have had a bit of a wiggle then. That's surely going to cost De Campo the lead then. They're going to be side by side on exit. De Campo does keep it between the Mayo and the Mustard as they head into Abbey. De Campo is held on to the lead up the inside. Can they go side by side through Abbey? Of course they can, as Delphante takes the lead of the race heading into the Village Complex. They're both heavy on the brakes, millimetres separate them side by side on the corner exit though, as Delphante sneaks his nose in front. Canty Campo bring the nose back through road. Oh, in the back of the McLaren's gone. Absolutely no contact there whatsoever in the back of the McLaren, letting go through the loop. It looks like Delphante found the edge of the grip and just went millimetres past it then. Absolutely precision driving from both of these drivers then. Absolute heartbreak for Delphant. As you can see, zero contact between the two of them. Comes into the loop, turns the car, and the back just says no thank you. And then he sits there and has to face. That was the absolute... Oh, that didn't look like a clever rejoin. I'm not going to lie, that didn't look like the most cleverest of rejoins. But obviously we've only got one quick look at that. Let's get one quick look back up at the front then. That really changes the layout, and that is Mattia De Campo, Thomas N Sim Racing, championship leaders in the lead of the race. Misha Milanovic in second position, with Rubia in third. Ben Crook now up to fourth, with Anufriev for VDES Juniors in fifth position. Not only that, Leonardo Pisano's got past Blaise Mason. They've got Rafael Malo closing in, and Leonardo Pisano, where on earth did I get Pisano? My apologies, Leonardo. But the Absolute Motorsport Aslith car, he's making no apologies for the pace he's showing at the moment. Through the Vale and into the club. He will be dancing. He is within 3/10 of Anufriev, and that's going to be a lot closer. Anufriev this time. Anufriev really struggling to get the back of the McLaren planted through club. So through Abbey, it's going to be very close. And speaking of very close, in fact, in Rubia, very close on the exit to Abbey to getting past Milanovic. Couldn't quite get it done as the battle rages on in the background. Ben Crook up into fourth place, but with Anufriev and Pisone all over the back of him. You can see just how close Pisone is getting there. Much later on the brakes he's able to get there, as Yehor Yudzetsky It's an ill wind that blows nobody some good. Yudzewski starting in 24th position. 7 laps in. 14 positions. That's 2 positions a lap on average. That is not a bad opening. Not a bad opening. Safe to say, if he keeps this pace up, he'll be leading the race in no time at all. Does have Delphante all over the back of him now. Delphante, after that incident. Oh, and Alan Brown there in the BMW. I don't know if he missed his brakes or what. That was. Oh, he popped up the inside of Nateman, so he was fat. Oh, yep, he's touched the grass there. He's run a bit wide. And then just settled the car ever so slightly, but Brown at the minute 15th position. We need to go back up to the front and see what's happening here with Pisoni, and in fact Rubia is still looking for that podium position at the expense of the Fun Sim Racing team heading into Stowe once again. In fact, it's formation driving in the background as Pisoni is looking, I'm now hesitating when I say his name, is looking to get an overtake done, and Rubia looking to get on to the second step of the podium. You can see the headlights getting ever so slightly closer. You'll see one set of headlights, then 3 as one car tries to get past the other, but you can see here we'll see one set of headlights heading along the Hamilton straight behind, and Rubia as they all fall into line into Abbey. Can and Rubia find the run he needs to get this done through the village complex? Will he throw him a loop through the loop? Will he get it done on the Wellington straight? He's definitely the quicker of the two at the moment. In the background, they're absolutely inseparable still. Zanufriev trying to find a way past Krug whilst trying to fend off Pisoni. Majan is being closed in very quickly by Malo. Another 2 tenths here in Malo's favour. Delphante is past Yudzewski. So for the first time this race we've seen him drop a position, but still 24th to 11th. Not too bad at all. There is Gornikov in the background closing in. We've got Ellinger and Brown doing battle in the background. Ballawender has recovered back up to 19th position. Up at the front, De Campo 1.6 seconds ahead of Milodanovic and Rubia. Getting cheered on in the chat. Let's go SN Rubia. Yep, great race at the minute, chasing down that podium. All the chasing being done though by Pisoni. He really is giving these drivers ahead something to think about in their battle. And you're trying to find a way past the Mercedes of Ben Krug. Not able to do so at the minute as the Ferrari of Pisoni eyeing up a potential double overtake. Speaking of double overtakes, can Yudzewski pull off a worldie here? He's got Delphante and Loesch battling ahead of him. Oh, and in fact, he's already ahead. So on the exit to Maggots and Beckett's, then Delphante making up another position. Malo making up another 4 tenths on the driver ahead. So his podium ambition certainly not out the window, and Rubia's podium improvement position still not out the window. Ben Krug still got a lot of defending to do, but let's keep an eye on Milodanovic. And in Rubia is a battle for podium positions as De Campo battles his way through the Silverstone night. 1.9 seconds he's got over the rest of the field. Less than half a tenth Milodanovic has got to in Rubia at the minute. The McLaren really does look to be the quicker of the two cars at the minute. Almost 3 tenths separating the fastest lap that these two drivers have set at the minute, and it is in Rubia that is the quicker of the two. Looking for slipstream along the Wellington straight, nothing doing there. Ben Krug looking to fend off the train. Oh! And that is a couple of positions lost there for Ben Krug. Slightly fortuitous the car got straightened up again there, but a lot of consolation, I'm sure, as the McLaren and the Ferrari both make their way through, and that is Rafael Malo in the background looking to add to the woes of Ben Krug there. It's Milodanovic still fending off the advances of Rubia at the minute. Anu Freire now 2.3 seconds down the road since that overtake Pizzoni. Up to 5th, it's Krug as we saw there in 6th. Rafael Malo in 7th position with Blaise Majan in the Porsche. Oh, and that is Ben Krug just taking a massive off-track excursion there. Yeah, just through Magus and Beckett's getting that all kinds of wrong on the brakes in the Mercedes. It's cost him time he doesn't really have at the minute, given how close the rest of the field are. Dominic Illinger all over the back of Yevgeny Nietman. And Nietman in the car, of course, making up 5 places in race 1 already. Made up 2 to 3 places in race number 2. We've got Cody Cosford in the pits, 8 laps down. Dave Goodway's just been overtaken by Madui. Let's see if I can catch that one. Oh, and it's already done there. He's looking for a move up the inside. That's on his way into Stowe, using the third car in the equation routine there. The 2 ahead or side by side, or nose to tail, so he popped it along the inside. Oh, and that's a big move on the back end by the Ferrari. Why did I struggle with that one? But he does manage to hold it, keeps the car going in the right direction. Leonardo, and they're getting close again. Which battle towards, because Rafael Malo's all over the back of Ben Krug. We've got De Campo. Again, he's just battling with himself, and Rubia is still looking to get second position. Andy Freire still fending off Pisoni while finding 4/10 on and Rubia ahead. We've got Rafael Malo all over the back of Ben Krug, and he knows he needs to get a move on because he's got Blaze Mason, as you can see. Those Porsche headlights getting ever closer, and every time they move, oh, that's a big move by the Porsche. Only is massively off track. Race 1 race winner Del Fante is lurking in the background, and there's not so much of a lurk now as he goes flying past the wayward Mason. Then I was about to compliment Mason on the pace. One slight lapse in concentration at this course, you are out of here. And that is Ben Mason out of the equation as far as Del Fante and Malo go. So Malo, and into Stowe. He's gone side by side then. I couldn't hear the engines there from one voice. They've made contact right on the inside. The Mercedes, not much more room on that inside line then. Malo still finding the contact. He's got Del Fante in the background. He is the third driver. And he had a big look there, almost went darting for that one there. It could have been a bit of a dart too early though, because that's brought Del Fante right into this one up at the front. Andy Freire and Pisoni still battling for fourth. Bit of a separation then between Miladanovic and Rubia. I'm not sure if Rubia made a bit of a mistake or what's happened there with Ben Crook. And that's Malo having a big look up at the inside of Village, and he knows he's going to get boxed out here if he doesn't get the overtake done through the loop. He manages to get right back on the back of the Mercedes as he brings Del Fante with him once again. Malo and Del Fante battling for 7th position as Ben Crook battles defend them both off. Blaze Mason still only 2/10 back in the background. And that's a big look up the inside, and I've totally missed that one of these. Is that... Del Fante almost losing out there as Malo looking to gain up ahead. Can he get this one done? Let's be brave here and have a look. So we just missed that then, but it did look like Del Fante cost himself a bit of time there off the Wellington straight. Certainly no time lost for Rafael Malo into turn number 1, although no time lost for Del Fante through turn number 1. Unbelievably quick once again. Gets straight back on to the battle ahead. Balawander looking to overtake Feltham to get himself back up to 17th. Del Fante almost McLaren on McLaren action there as a Mercedes is holding them both up at the minute. Pisoni still on the back of Andy Freire, who's now within a second and a half of Rubia, and Rubia's found a bit of time again on Miladanovic back to a 1 second difference here, and De Campo really has found his groove. 1 minute 57.4, his fastest lap so far. 4.1 seconds all the lead he's got, with only 15 seconds until the pit window opens. That's the quickest 25 minutes of commentary I've ever done in my life. And Malo runs a bit wide. He's going to have to be careful. That's going to be a track limit violation unless he lifted ever so slightly. It looks like he slightly lifted. Was it enough to ward off the track warning? He's got all over the back of the Mercedes once again as he got himself a bit too close at the wrong part of the track though. Del Fante again, good rotation through the loop. We saw some of the cars come in as soon as the pit window opened in race number 1. Will that be the case in race number 2? I doubt we'll see the Campo come in straight away, but then what do I know? I'm just the commentator. That's why I'm the commentator. Broff comes in. So yeah, race leader stays out. Milodanovic is going to stay out. So too is Rubia and Yefreev. Yet we're all staying out. Let's go side by side. He's going to get this one done, or is he? Rafael Malo outside on Luffield. He's got the outside line on the way into is he going to make this one okay? On the way into Magus and Beggis. Delfani gets involved. The two of them have touched. There's been a double touch, and that's game over for both of the cars. Also, Rafael Malo got really close on the way into Ville. Through the loop, the Mercedes not quite on the apex, but did get a decent exit. Over Aintree and onto the Wellington straight. Rafael Malo being hurried along by Delfante. Oh, again, so there's a bit of contact there. He goes up the inside, straightens the Mercedes out. The Mercedes comes right back up. I'm looking for a move up the inside. There's a bit of contact again. And then I think we saw another bit of contact here, but Malo gets it round the outside at this point. He now finds himself in 11th position with the Mercedes up the inside, just having a look, and I can't find him. There he is. And that's both cars out of the race. Certainly out of the podium hunt to find themselves right back next to one another again. Ben Crook and Rafael Malo now 10th and 11th. So that has put Eric Delfant then up to 5th position. Blaise Mason 6th, Remy Lowe 7th, Yudzecki up to 8th place from 24th. Gornikov in 9th, Ben Crook 10th, Malo in 11th. We've seen Derek Broff come into the pit, so has VDES Jr. Soldatov that's come back out. James Williams is out for his stint in race number 2. Rafael Malo still trying to get his way past Ben Crook. Yudzecki going to be gifted another position as Remy Loesch comes in to the pits in the Lambo. And Rafael Malo stays out. Ben Crook comes in, so another two cars coming in to take their mandatory stops as Mattia De Campo, championship leading car, majestically leading the race at the minute. Ellinger is not close to someone, he's just passed them because they're in the pits. Dave Goodby on the other hand is battling with Gibbons at the minute. The two of them battling for 19th place out of Luffield. Very close between the two of them. Bjorn Dale coming in for Guerrilla Racing. Feltham's in as well for MMS. Gibbons dropping by the wayside ever so slightly. There is Max Leonard coming out in the Lambo. As quickly as the pit window opens, the pit window is almost half done. De Campo still leading the way. Delfant closing in on Pisoni then. Pisoni dropping a bit of time to Rubia, now a 1.5 second gap they find themselves with. And Rubia dropping time to Milodanovic as well, though just as I say that, he's just found 4/10 on him. The gap there down to 1.6, but with Milodanovic with a solid opening stint. This would be a phenomenal podium if they could bring this one home. Yeah, very well deserved for a bunch of very dedicated sim racers. It is Barry Gibbons that was on screen at the minute. He's just been overtaken there by Goodway, and in fact Goodway's shown a clean pair of heels since getting that overtake done. Milodanovic comes in to the pit, so does race 1 winner Eric Delfant, pretty much bang on the halfway mark in the race and the pit window. Milodanovic, as we can see, in as well. De Campo has stayed out. There's a Gornikov coming in, Ellinger's coming in, Yateman coming in, so a sudden rush into the pits. Right on the halfway mark yet again, so Soldatov, Leonard, Trizoldi all out. Nopek out for Guerrilla Racing. Joe Plaister is out. Neil Woodward is back out as well, as I mentioned, so too James Williams. So we'll see how this shakes up the running order. Yehor Yuzeski going for another overtake then. Blazemation losing some time on that last lap. Has a Baldwin in the chat. Good evening. How we doing? Welcome in. On there we can see the positions changing. Milodanovic hands over to Rock Corps, still up ahead of Delfante, who's now handed over to Tajuddin. So still a good position then. Gornikov's handed over to Rakhmatov. Illinger is handed over to Nico Veldman. Dave Goodway is handed over to Sorio. Barry Gibbons on their side-by-side on the way out of the pits. It's Michael Firth and Sergio Osorio, and it is Michael Firth that yields ever so slightly. Ballawender back up to 7th position before the pit stops. De Campo in from the lead of the race, and Rubia in from 2nd, but was 3rd when the pit stop started. Pisoni in as well. Blazemation comes in, so does Yudzedski. So it looks like, yeah, this will be the last of the teams. Oh no, sorry, my apologies. Still got Rafael Malo, Philip Ballawender. He's stayed out. Alan Brown has come in. 0 separating them through that time on board. So Malo is now race leader. With 2.5 minutes left to go. I'm good, has it? It's been quite the night of action, as you would expect. Have been absolutely going at a hammer and tong for this one. It's been some really good racing, and still got 27 minutes left to go. So a full stint for most of the drivers. Malo and De Campo still need to pit, and Rubia hands over to Santo. As in the background, that is the McLaren of Rock Corps, who was in 2nd place behind, ahead of in Rubia's car. So Tyre Sim Racing not only got that done, it looks like Delfant, his car might get the job done, as well as Tajuddin is closed right in on this battle as well. So Tajuddin really hitting the ground running here in race 2, and Soldatov closing in on this battle as well. As you can see, side by side ahead, Rock Corps just out the pits, coming under all kinds of pressure and losing 2 positions in. So in Rubia, and that is a bit of contact there. Rock Corps. He's had to hold his brakes. The Porsche just spun on. He's caught Zupanchik out. That has caught a couple of cars out there. Pasemko did make it through. Ollie pit signal. The Team Ballast car on a charge through the field. They're going to drop down the order as well. Thomas Nopek for Guerrilla Racing getting the move done on Truzoldi. The PLR car really dropping down the order. Since the pit stop, Rafael Malo comes in from the lead. Ballawender comes in as well, as the pit window's only got 45 seconds left. So it is Ladke in the Thomas N car that is leading the way, with Tyre Sim Racing in 2nd at the minute. Tajuddin in 3rd, but we need to see where Malo, Ballawender, I'm not sure, definitely not going to be in contention for top 5. As we can see, Ladke goes through. Santo chased through by Tajuddin. Rafael Malo still stays straight. 4th place, 5th place. There goes Leonard as well, I believe. Yes, it is. So that's Leonard through. Zupanchik through. Pasemko through as well. Rakhmatov through as well, as Rafael Malo hands over to Martin Klassen. Back out in 10th place. It could be 12th position, in fact, as Pitsick makes his way through. So it is 12th position then for Rafael Malo. So yeah, that contact really detrimental Tajuddin. Oh, and he's got the overtake done on Santo then. Already got the move done. Let's see how this one played out. Exit to Maggots and Beckett's on the way into Stowe. It's going to be another side-by-side, surely. It absolutely must be from this point. The Lamborghini, yeah, wanted the inside line. The McLaren decided, no thank you very much. I will have that beautiful rotation on those curves. Absolutely picture perfect through Stowe there, not to Vale, and on the way into Club. Is Tajuddin up to second position for ITJ. Can he catch Hladky ahead? 7.8 seconds is that gap. Rock Cops has recovered from that incident, currently in 8th position with Rakhmatov just behind Martin Klassen. Getting the overtake done on Ollie Pitzik then, already got the overtake done, so Klassen up to 10th position. Yeah, so positions all changing. Just trying to quickly. There's Lewis Robinson is out. Jimmy Lynn for the petrol aficionados. Lewis Robinson, I think, had a bit of an issue. 18th place. Hitcham Dewey up to 17th. Rakhmatov in 9th, looking to get an overtake done on Kops if he can. So Kops and his team battling for second and third place. Now in 8th position. And got a battle on their hands if we're going to hold on to that. We saw the VDES junior car in race number 1 finishing on the podium, so we know how quick they are. He's all over the back of Kops at the minute, and although Kops with a lap 2/10 quicker than Rakhmatov's at the minute, so definitely still in the hunt here if he can keep showing that kind of pace and fend off the advances, but it's going to be a long 22 minutes to do so. That is for sure. Rakhmatov into Stowe, still pushing all the buttons, only 2/10 separating them there through that. The McLaren, not sure what he was thinking there, maybe trying to get out with the slipstream to better employ the aerodynamics of the car to aid in the braking sequence. All it did was cause a big old wiggle there. Let's see what's happening with Tajuddin up at the front. In fact, will we take our eyes off that? They are very close still. Let's see what Rakhmatov can do through the village complex. Hladky and Tajuddin 7 seconds exactly separating the two of them. Tajuddin, the exit to the loop. He's given himself the A3 curve. He's going to get the exit onto the Wellington. They're going to be side by side as the exit. Almost contact between the two, but Rakhmatov surely got the line he wants here. Although out round the outside, Kops has still got the pace. He's got the nose in front. He's got the middle line on the way into Luffield if he wants it, and it is. Rakhmatov positions the car beautifully, but doesn't do so on the exit. Gets the middle phase fine. Doesn't quite get the final phase of that. And he's right in the slipstream, man, as they head along the start-finish straight, side by side through turn number 1 potentially. Yeah, Rakhmatov just making the slightest of contact with the back of Kops' car there. Thankfully, both of them survived to lap another lap or two, and that's a bit of net code, so don't worry about that. There we go. For some reason, no, those cars definitely did not just drive off track. That's just a bit of net code within the game. They're still lapping, so too Nico Veldman all over the back of Thomas Nopeg. He's up to 12th place for the Guerrilla Racing car. So good race for them so far. We've got Veldman breathing down their neck in the closing stages, and Sergio Osorio's got Michael Firth breathing down his neck, and in fact they're side by side on the exit to turn number 1 into Maggots and Beckett's. Yes, slight lack of spatial awareness potentially. So yeah, maybe not quite got the radar on there, but yeah, Firth and Osorio making contact there. Osorio now down to 21st, and in fact might even lose another position to Woodward. Oh no, sorry, there is a big gap there, so that's not a position that's going to change hands. Up at the front is the lead going to change hands. There's another half a second drop in the deficit between the lead two. And Soldatov is still hunting down Santo for third position. Can Tire Sim Racing hang on to a podium? Can Rakhmetov... can Cops hang on to 8th place? Rakhmetov certainly hanging on to the back of his car, classing 5 seconds down on these two with 19 minutes left to go. So he does need to put in some very quick laps if he is going to catch up to them. But if he can catch up, the battle they're having could certainly aid in his quest to improve on a position or two. Into that is Magnus and Beckett's once again. Let's jump back up to Soldatov then, third place in contention here. Let's jump onto this camera here then. We can see Soldatov hunting down Santos, still Tajidin. Another 2/10 on Hladky, so he is lap on lap a bit quicker. Is it going to be enough to get anything done before the end of the race? Yeah, with 4/10 of a second separating them. Rakhmetov, sorry, that's the one I was looking for there. Has he got past Cops? Oh, he has indeed. So let's see how he got this one done then. Rakhmetov was looking the quicker of the two in this phase. Into Maggots and Beckett's. Oh, this Cop's not quite as quick through Maggots and Beckett's then. So on the exit, the two of them very close to one another. Cops takes the outside line, invites Rakhmetov up that inside. Rakhmetov duly accepts the invitation. And on the way into Stowe, yeah, very easily getting that one done. Cops more than compliant in that overtake through the Vale. That is very nicely done. Into Club Rocks, you can see still very much in the hunt for the points. But Rakhmetov, clean pair of heels. Can he catch up to Pasemko, who is not too far ahead now? He's still battling with Zupanchik, so that could be one to watch in the closing stages. Xeno Catalyst in the chat, good evening, welcome in. Just in the closing stages of the race, but certainly not much has been fully decided. Certainly Hladky up at the front has given himself a great chance of the win, but Tajidin now down to within 6 seconds. So 5.9. So on that last lap found another 4/10 lap on lap. So it's going to be close. Oh, Santos is off the track. Santo off track. So this is the battle with Konstantin Soldatov into Stowe. All looks fine there. I mean, yeah, we'll let the stewards dish out any relevant time for that. I know that the post-race stewarding for that one, we've seen a couple that are definitely going to raise an eyebrow or two, and potentially the finish time of the drivers involved with penalties being added. But certainly that was a big contact in the rear end there. Pasemko now up to 7th position, with Zupanchik still firmly within his sights. Hladky 5.7 seconds up on Tajidin. Tajidin just coming to one of that James Williams there in 23rd, so he'll make his way past there very quickly indeed. Oh, it's Neil Woodward, my apologies, that's the 999 Ferrari, that is Woodward. There is Pasemko looking for a move on Zupanchik. Is it going to be on the exit to Maggots and Beckett's? He was looking very quick on the way in, settles the Ferrari right down on the way through, though it was looking very quick there compared to the Porsche. But on the exit, is this where he gets it done? He is looking quick towards Stone. Not quite going to be close enough. He's not going to make a move from there. A bit too far back. You can certainly pop out the slipstream, make it easier for you on the brakes, or see if your opponent will make a defensive move, potentially open the door, or force their hand into an error if you can. A lot of dust thrown up there. Pasemko and Supancik fairly evenly matched for pace at the minute. There was another battle I was looking at, and it's Hitcham Doobie and Jimmy Lynn battling out the Italian job junior car. And Jimmy Lynn out for the petrol aficionados. In fact, let's look back at Pasemko, still close there. Tajuddin, no improvement, although he was 3/10 quicker on that last lap. But yes, okay, he was 3/10 quicker, but they're still separated by 5.8 when they went through the sector line. 13 minutes left to go. Yeah, this current pace, it does look like Hladky has got this done and dusted. Even if he makes up half a second a lap, there's only about 6 laps left. That's in 6 laps is even that's maybe a bit much, maybe 7. So you're talking 3.5 seconds he can make up. So he really does need Hladky to either get held up with traffic or have some kind of incident. Oli Pisik though, Team Ballas Ukraine, incredible race they've had, and they've made up 12 positions, and he is closing in on Nopet, the Guerrilla Racing Lamborghini. By no means got this 11th place in the bag in the closing stages. Pasemko, oh, is he ahead? Yes, he's ahead of Supancik. Let's have a look at this one and see how he gets this one done. So along the Wellington straight, he's a long way back. Oh, there we go then. The brakes of the Porsche not quite working the way of the Ferrari. Although the Ferrari having a bit of a wiggle himself there on the exit to Luffield. The Porsche obliges and makes a similar mistake along the start-finish line. The Ferrari right on the right hand side of the track to maximise the amount of exit speed he was getting along the start finish straight into turn number 1. Oh, the Porsche misses the corner, misses the apex by a country mile there. Does well to make sure no ropey rejoin, but that's Pasemko's patience paying off, and Santo ahead in fact, having a bit of a moment as well then, completely unforced error through the same corner there. So that's 2 cars we've seen making mistakes through there, and Pasemko could benefit from both of them. Tajuddin has found more time on the car ahead. It's now 5.8 seconds, sorry, 5.1 seconds is now the gap there. Hitcham Doobie still trying to find a way past Jimmy Lynn as well. Not as close as I thought there. Let's get some camera time for Hladky. Yes, so Hladky, sorry, yeah, he is still leading away 5.1 seconds. I'm just analysing these lap times. Tajuddin again, 4/10 quicker on that last lap. Max Leonard looking good for 4th position as Santo is coming under increasing pressure from Pasemko after a seemingly unforced error. Jimmy Lynn all over the back in fact of David Hill, so David Hill has dropped a bit of time. Tresoldi trying to get the overtake done there on Tresoldi, not quite able to get that done. Hill 15th position at the minute, so unlike race 1, dropping positions in race number 2, but does have Tresoldi just ahead. Nick Veldman is a fair bit up the road from these 3, so fairly safe, you would think, with 10 minutes left to go. There is David Hill that we're on board with still on the bonnet through Vale and into Club. Jimmy Lynn very close in the background. Not quite as close that time actually, but they're on the way out with Club. Certainly going to give Hill a run for his money. Hill trying to chase that Mercedes ahead. Oh, and I thought that was a position change up ahead. It's just very close actually as Rakhmatov chasing down Zupanchik. Still Zupanchik still trying to keep in touch with Pasemko, who is definitely keeping in touch with Santo ahead. And this is a very good drive indeed by Maik Pasemko. Looking for another position in the closing stages. 9 minutes to go. Pasemko looking for 5th at Santo's expense. Along the start-finish straight into Stowe. There is only 3/10 separating the two of them. And it's going to get a lot closer through Maggots and Beckett's, given the exit to turn 1 that the Ferrari just got. Jumping onto the bonnet, you can see just how much quicker he is. James Williams into the pits a couple of laps down and in the closing 8 minutes, so hopefully just a fuel issue as they come along the straight under the bridge. It is nose to tail. Pasemko looking for the overtake. Can the Ferrari get round at the outside of the Lambo on the way into Stowe? Oh, he was a bit unsettled there on the brakes. Just had to calm the car down ever so slightly. Saw just that extra bit of giddiness on the frame of the Ferrari as he jumped on the brakes there. Really needed to keep the car in check, and he could have ended up shadow realming himself, which you definitely don't want to do, especially if his opponent ahead is making mistakes. If your opponent is making mistakes, the best strategy is to not interrupt them. Just let them keep doing it. Honestly, it works absolute wonders. Working wonders up ahead. David Hill getting overtakes done in the closing stages then. So did he get the overtake done, or did Zolde make a bit of a mistake? The BMW looking pretty far back then. Heading towards Stowe. It's just a very good exit from Maggots and Beckett's. There's a side-by-side in the background as well. Lynn and Doobie going side-by-side. The BMW, what a run he got. Opens the corner up. Carries the momentum through absolutely beautifully as Hitcham Doobie in the background tries to do the same against Jimmy Lynn, but it's on the exit. Oh, they make contact on the straight. Oh, and he's run deep on his brakes there. That is a bit of a mistake there. Let's have another look at this one as these two battle for position. This is Hitcham Doobie and Jimmy Lynn, the Italian job versus the petrol aficionados, and not quite a horse's head on the pillow there. But I think there was a bit of contact on the way into Village. The McLaren of the Italian job looking very quick, throws it right up the inside, late on the brakes. He's run himself a bit deep there. He's put all 4 wheels off the track. We've missed what's happened. Let's see if we can get back. No, we can't because everything's frozen. But Lynn has stayed ahead is the outcome of that one. So let's jump back on to Maik Pasemko and Santo and see what the outcome of that is. Confirmation that Tajideen is still the quickest driver on the track. He's close to within 5 seconds of the race leader, but it will be too little too late. Pasemko getting close, Rakhmatov getting close as well. It's all happening in the closing few minutes as Rakhmatov tries to get his way past Pasemko. Pasemko's trying to get his way past Santo. Rakhmatov's trying to get his way past Zupanchik. I'm crossing over the two battles. The drivers are that close on the way into Abbey there. He really didn't want to touch that curb as much as he did, but he did. He dealt with it, and Santo's still in 5th place. Can he fend off Pasemko? Can Rakhmatov get the move done on Zupanchik? These two are looking very close indeed. It does look like Rakhmatov more likely to get the overtake done out of the two battles that we're watching at the minute. Although along the Wellington straight, note they've just separated out ever so slightly again. So Pasemko looking to retake that position, get that position done. He is pestering Santo for all that he can, and all the while Hadke is leading the way with Tajideen still in 2nd place. 4.8 seconds now is that gap. James. Steering wheel doesn't want to play. That is brutal. That is absolutely brutal. I'm not even sure. Can you send someone else back out? Okay, but yeah, you are back out on track. Sorry, I was looking at Pitwall Live there, but yeah, you are back out on track. Yeah, be it racing, whether it's sim racing or real racing, technical problems can strike at any point in time. Rakhmetov within 4/10, Klassen closing in on Kops as well. In fact, he's closed right in on Rock Kops, so Klassen could find himself up into 9th. 3.5 minutes left to go. Trizoldi still trying to keep in touch with Hill. Hill got a big gap to Veldman, so 14th place looking good. Klassen all over the back. Oh, has a look up the inside. Can he make this one stick? Oh, Kops has got an outside line. Oh, he's just about kept it between the Mayo and the Mustard there. Klassen sails his way through though off the Wellington straight and out with Luffield. That is Klassen Simply Race up to 9th position. Rakhmetov still looking for the move on Sapanchik, and Pasemko is very close to Santo once again. The end of that lap there, the two of them right on top of one another, less than 2/10 between the two of them. Santov still fending off that advance at the minute. David Hill finds less than another 3/10 lost, in fact, to Trizoldi behind. Trizoldi hanging on at the 4/10 mark. Klassen got Kops, in fact, showing him a fairly clean pair of heels at the minute. Pasemko still chasing Santo. And Tajuddin, as Drofter was in the chat saying, as long as it doesn't drop to 8/10 per lap, we win. And it is looking that way at the minute. Only a 10 separating the laps on that last lap there, so the gap very much balancing out at 4.5 seconds with 2 minutes to go. Rakhmetov still looking for an overtake, so is Pasemko. Will we see anything in the closing stages? Hladký is going to have another lap after this one. Still a couple of laps for the drivers to get their affairs in order. Rakhmetov looking for that 7th. Pasemko still looking for 5th place. Hladký just looking to bring home the race win. This will really stamp the authority of Thomas Eng on the championship. 2 top 5 finishes in this round. It's going to see them with a good lead over the Italian job. Almost 40 points at the minute. I think it's going to go past the 40-point mark. In fact, it will go past the 40-point mark. Just past the 40-point mark after this race. So the next few rounds, all important. Valencia and the Nürburgring. Still another 4 races to go, thankfully. Tajuddin 4.3, then Soldato over VDS in 3rd. Leonard for Panda Esports in 4th place, and it's Danny Santo still in 5th at the minute. Can he fend off the Ferrari? So Pancic in the Porsche still looking to fend off the McLaren of Rakhmetov, one of the podium finishers in race 1, so we know got a bit of pace about them, to say the least. Lynn and Duby are still battling. Hill and Trizoldi still only separated by half a second then, so Hill doing well to get the overtake done and fend off the advances. There's the gap down to 4 seconds exactly between Hladký and Tajuddin. So again, confirmation he is the quickest driver on track, but not by enough to close the gap in the closing stages. They've got a lap to go after this. He was 4/10 quicker on that last lap. He's going to cross the line, and I think this is going to be the race win, and it is indeed the leader finishing the race. We didn't get confirmation he was on the last lap, so apologies Thomas Eng for the lack of camera time. But congratulations on the race win. The Italian Job setup car bringing home 2nd, and VDES Junior another week, another round, another car on the podium. Definitely championship position contenders, and it's Max Leonard for Panda Esports coming home in 4th place. In 5th, Danny Santo did fend off Pasenko. I was really hopeful we were going to get another lap of that. Pasenko in 6th place. Rakhmetov in 7th position, so he did get ahead of Zupanchik right at the end. Klassen in 9th, Rock Kops in 10th, Nopek in 11th, Pitsik in 12th, and Veldman in 13th. There's a couple of cars have backed out, so the results will wait on the rest of them to cross the line. But there is the race winners. Thomas Eng Sim Racing, and it really does bode well for their championship chances going forward. They'll be the championship leaders going into round number 6, and there's not much more you can ask for at this stage of the competition. It's a whole lot of race wins they have racked up so far. One of only 2 teams to win both rounds on both races in the same round. Not quite 2 podiums this time, but certainly based on where it started in race 1, the finish will be more than welcome, and so will the race win here. Just waiting on Osorio to cross the line. There we go. And there is the results. 2 non-McLarens in the top 5. 3 non-McLarens that started the race in the top 5. Only 2 of them made it to the end. But yeah, definitely McLaren dominance, and Thomas Eng dominating the championship so far. Another great drive by them. Tajuddin and Delfante can certainly hold their head up. Fastest car on the track, and they've got the gap to within 3.7 seconds at the end, so absolutely incredible for them. And Soldatov and Anufria, VDES Racing, 3rd in the championship going into tonight, and they have certainly strengthened their grip on that position after that display this evening. Incredible scenes all round. Love the racing in this championship so far. Make sure you jump on to Formula Racing League's YouTube channel. All the races back catalogued there beautifully to go back and watch. Oh, because they finished ahead of you in race 1, Drofter. Thank you very much. Yes, so as a result we drop 11 points to P2 in the championship today, so the gap will be 24 going into the next round. Wow. Yeah, I should maybe see about getting you into the old commentary box to do as my race engineer. Bringing all the trackside info. Hopefully that microphone's still working. My audio software has decided to have a bit of a moment. We do love audio updates that come out of no place. Excellent. Yeah, let's put that one on. So yeah, round number 5 done and dusted. Well, will the dust settle on this one? A couple of incidents I'm sure will be investigated by the stewards. The final standings can be found, of course, on the SimGrid page. You can jump on there. Go to the host page, give FRL a follow, and you can keep up to date with all of the action they've got, of course, and all 4 of their Twitch channels, ACC on PC and PlayStation 5. Taco Tuesday running this evening as well. But this was the FRL Super Sprint to the grand finals. 7 rounds, 14 races, 5 guaranteed spots in the 3-round endurance final in November and December, and we are 10 of the 14 races in. And as Drofter's just pointed out there, there's only 24 points separating the top 2 going into the final round, so it promises to be an absolute grandstand finish to the competition all round. So make sure you get yourself tuned in. Thank you to anyone that did follow this evening. Again, apologies, did pop up I haven't quite got the feed working yet, but thank you to everyone that's got involved. Yeah, congratulations to the podium, and thank you to everyone in the chat as well. Follow over my words still. Drofter, Zero Catalyst, has a Baldwin, Waddell and Brown, James Williams in. Of course, Wings and Vale were in as well. Thank you very much for the compliments. Schimo de Guerra, my apologies for not understanding the, I think it was Italian. Leon Seeley, Alex Cat, Chopasaurus, and Chica were all in the chat as well. Adam Erskine, and so was Smiley, of course, as well. Rob G. Barker, he was in as well. It was busy. Thank you to everyone that joined in. I hope you enjoyed it. Great comments as always. Have a great night. Thank you very much, Drofter. I thoroughly enjoyed it, so I hope you guys did too. I will, as always, leave you with the highlights. There's quite a few of them, so enjoy. And I will see you the next time I am on FRL, which won't be long. My name, of course, John Wright, aka Double O Raven. Thank you very much for your company this evening. Whatever you decide to do, stay safe. Have a great rest of your night. Good night.